WIIFTBP.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m. where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here. Peace.
You see me, you see him, my best friend. He hold me down like ankles fighting the waves. A partner to my crime, yeah, I do time. Till I'm with you, I'll be counting the days. Yeah, ooh, been through so many things, but we always get real. Yeah, ooh, it ain't always perfect, but it's worth it. This is deeper than the surface. If I said I didn't love you, you and I know I'd be frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide to make them something, something. Like it was nothing. Ooh, something about you, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so weak. Say, easy to love. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so weak. Say, easy to love. I never thought that I would give it to you, but now I don't think it's the time. I won't do it. I think it's cause the way you talk to me. Know how to say it without making me feel little. You're gracious even when you pop off on me. When you get done, I got a little something to drop off on you. Because you earned it with the time you took to put it that way. You got me liking to get put in my place. I didn't love you, you and I know I'd be frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide to make them something, something. Like it was nothing. Ooh, something about you, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so easy. Say, easy to love. Easy to make it easy. Say, to take it easy. Say, feel so weak. Say, easy to love. You make it easy. You make it easy. You make it easy.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Man, Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack black smoke. System that milk is so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Wake up, Chicago! You forgot me, man? Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. It's the day after Easter. What y'all coming up in here like Easter bunnies with presents and packages and all type of stuff? Ruthie done came in here dressed like an Easter egg.
Ooh,
you got an Easter egg with locks.
Jokes.
You got Easter egg with locks. Which one do?
Don't make me.
Hey,
Maze, I'll roast you on this Monday.
Ruthie.
Maze, I will roast you.
I
will have you wanting to fight me.
Ruthie, I probably would too.
I'll run. You ain't gonna catch me.
You gotta get past me to the door.
I will.
No, you won't.
I'm concealed carry. I stay with the pipe.
Okay, maybe. You might. I'm still waiting on my card. That's okay though. They tripping. So after the BGA called me a felon, they was like, hold it.
Must be the felony.
Let me check. They was like, let me double check. So now I'm waiting on my license. Thanks, BGA. Did you see?
BGA.
Thanks, BGA. Then you see they gave me a backhanded ass apology or a retraction.
I bet.
It was so backhanded.
I bet we was trying to spice the story up.
I was like, for real, this is how y'all. This is how you gonna. What y'all young people say? Keep that same energy.
Keep that same energy.
Keep that same energy. When you was out there, they was like, and it almost feels like. Well, I was gonna say I had a few dollars so I could fight the case, but I ain't have no few dollars. I had a public defender, but it just seemed like it was so dismissive. I'm gonna share it with y'all a little bit later, but before I do that, I just want to say, my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody from Antioch Missionary Baptist Church, the historic Black Baptist church that burned down on 63rd and Stewart. But they went down on Friday, but they rose again on Sunday at Callahan Funeral Home because they were determined to have an Easter service. So, I want to send my thoughts and prayers out to everybody who attended Antioch Missionary Baptist Church. I think they were supposed to have the big forum this weekend, too. And I think that kind of came apart. But, look, I'm already into the headlines without even saying what's up. So, let me do this. Let me say what's up to the team. Ruthie Mo.
Yo.
Happy Easter. How you feeling today?
I say Easter, somebody say it's Resurrection Sunday.
Okay.
I said, okay, all right. Happy Resurrection Sunday.
Why they just, you know what? It's almost like happy holidays to you.
I had to look it up, though. They did say Easter is like a pagan holiday. And it's related to fertility.
Why
would
somebody see? Y'all tripping? Why y'all ain't? So it was a practice day. It used to be a practice day back in the day.
Fertility.
Well, maybe not even a practice day, because if the egg came, then that meant.
Well, no, bunnies multiply a lot.
Like, that's my point. You were supposed to get it in on Easter, and now
that's why the bunny is like the symbol.
With the eggs.
Crazy.
Amen.
Crazy.
But they mixed it up. So now they got you thinking about Christ rise again. So I'm not going to even get into this.
I know. Happy Resurrection Day.
Happy Passover.
It's Easter Monday. That's literally on my calendar. It says like Easter Sunday, Easter Monday.
Does that mean you get a day off? In the Catholic schools, I think they get a day off. I think my son is off today.
Well, while we here, Maze, I'm Catholic.
Ruthie, you ain't no dang on Catholic. You Catholic, you Jewish. Which is the day off? You know how y'all millennials be like, I'm universal. Just like y'all be LGBTQ, y'all be like, I am.
Let me get a day for this.
Right, like what? Like you practicing Rosh Hashanah?
I'm all of that, Maze. If it's a day off, I'm with it. Columbus Day.
Oh,
put the statue back up. I get a day off. I want all the days. Martin Luther King Day.
Woo.
Every day.
June.
We used to get Abraham Lincoln birthday off in Illinois.
Now it's President's Day.
I know.
So
I'm gonna look up who sponsored that bill.
President's Day. But then does that mean we celebrating Andrew Jackson? Are we celebrating all the slaver presidents too?
All of them.
See, that's kind of both. That's that all lives. Riis probably on the President's Day committee. He like, man, look, Riis be, Richard Irvin, Riis, they all over there talking about probably Israel. They talking about right. They all over there rebelling.
What Israel talking about? Bunnies don't lay eggs. They don't.
What you talking about, dog? You gotta stop. Y'all messing around now. Did anybody watch? Do you watch 10 Commandments on this weekend? Mm-mm. You know why I used to wonder, why do they have the 10 Commandments on for Easter weekend all the time? But you know what it is?
What is it?
It's actually the original story. Right? Like Passover, which is when the Israelites were captive in Egypt, and after they had the plagues, the final plague was to go in your house, put the blood of the lamb on your door, right? And the angel of death would pass over you. And that was Passover, right? And Jesus was which was the original Jewish Israelite holiday, right? Jesus, Yeshua, was celebrating Passover as an Israelite.
Okay.
When he went from glory to Gethsemane to Golgotha to the grave. So all of that happened over Passover weekend. So it's like a dual celebration. And so the 10 Commandments, the one with Charlton Heston and Moses and Yul Brynner, which I know it's not politically correct, but I swear that's a great movie. I used to love when that came on. That is why they show it, so they could get both the Jewish community and the Christian community, right, on to watch on Easter weekend. And that's what brings everybody together. Now, I don't know if the Muslims have something, because they was kicking it off in Israel this weekend. They was blowing up. They was at the strip going off. I don't understand them throwing rocks versus these missiles that they throw it's
symbolic.
They throw 6 rocks to David and Goliath.
It's symbolic.
Okay, they be throwing 6 rocks. The Israelis be like, here goes eat these missiles.
Right.
They be like, all right, we threw 6 rocks. Israel responds with
if you lift your hand, if them Palestinians lift up their hand and act like they throwing a rock,
they be like,
they gonna demolish their
whole crib. They take a whole block out. It's Ruthie, I know you need to stay out this conversation.
I know, right?
So stop, look, back out.
I'm just saying.
Nope, don't say it. Just be quiet. You don't get a call today. They're going to be on the phone like, hey, is there something we need to do? Don't massage me. Look, I'll be like, okay, so just be cool. You just stay there. It's Easter Sunday. We all good. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, Ruthie Moore, secret agent, and DJ Riis the Ruler. DJ Riis the Ruler, how you feeling this morning?
Blessed by the best, you already know the rest, man. How y'all doing today?
Hey, man. Let me tell you.
I know y'all saw that snow. We ain't gonna just gloss over that, though.
I didn't see no snow. There was snow. They said it was supposed to snow yesterday.
Yeah.
No, I got up before the snow.
My bad, Riis. I know you good. Go ahead.
What?
No, I was talking to Riis, and I just
you didn't get in. No, we didn't get out gloss over the snow.
I just felt the type of way because ain't nobody say nothing about it.
That's that why you got your snow vest on? You ready to go skiing? This is it though. This is that last freeze I was telling you about.
I took the salt out the basement. I ain't playing no games. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go, snow.
All right. So dang. Oh, so Ruthie, I was minding my business, chilling out on Saturday night. Phone rang. It's DJ Riis the Ruler. I want to tell you, Maze, my spot closed. My joint canceled. They just called me and told me they couldn't have this, but they had other stuff before. You know, it's like Riis be trying to make everything like Riis be trying to explain stuff from the position of fairness. Like the world ain't fair, right? So he's like, I came here because I seen some other people do it there, and so I'm doing my thing, and they did their thing, and I'm doing my thing, and now they saying I can't do my thing.
Still ain't returning my money. How you the venue? You canceling on me. I got an 8 p.m. event. And this is what I try to tell you. This is no shade, you know what I'm saying? But and then I know I gotta call the person. Like, come on, man. If I gotta call you, so I'm gonna have a conversation. I ain't gonna do it, but yeah, but nah, but. Yeah, so I called, man. My event got canceled. Let me tell you, man.
Let me tell you what.
When I tell you I'm blessed by the best, you already know the rest. When my event got canceled at 6:04, he texted me. He was like, "It might be your event." At 6:11, he called me. He was like, "Yeah, bro, it's canceled." I got off the phone with him at 6:12 and said, "God got me." At 7:12, God had me already with a new venue, better, and now I'm back. Just like that, and the party was magnificent.
And at 6 o'clock. I went in the car. I got in my chair because Riis had called me. 6:12, I was like, I'm going to go ahead and get me some rest. I'm going to go ahead and go to sleep. I'm going to go ahead and sit in this chair because it's my time. And at 7:12, Riis called me, talk about some, hey, could you meet me over there to get the tables? Sure, Riis. Now, see, this what be happening, right? Uh-oh. See how I be having to work for everybody else?
Some shouting music.
Cause see, I'm gonna start. These are the moments that people don't think about, right? I just want to say in the universe,
put it on the record.
I'm not even putting it on the record. I just want y'all so the moment when it's the F Maze moment, cause I said right. Remember all the times when honestly, I was like, I'm asleep. I'm asleep. And then I almost had to help him put him in the car. Look, I'm glad though. Let me tell you what Riis did do. Right? Because, I really was like, I sure hope he brought somebody. Because I sure hope he don't think I'm about to not only get up, put my clothes back on, and come back outside, that I'm going to have to load these tables into this truck. When Riis pulled up with nobody in the truck, I was like, oh, yeah. But before I could even act like I was getting ready to have an attitude, Riis was putting the tables in the truck by himself. I was like, all right, Riis.
One man army.
Then I said, you know what, Riis? You know what that is, though? I know that. I've been there. I'm that. That's me when y'all be making, I'll be like, I'll do it. I'll do it myself. But I think Riis got it, right? Because he was like, you know what? I already got this man up out the bed. I already got him over here. And I'm going to start. I'll be like, no rental fee.
It's the strength.
See?
A little bit.
The strength.
Pay me in cash. Pay me in cash. No, I'm just playing. I'm not tripping. Thank you for the symbolism. But when he did, what was dope was because Ruthie, I was really ready to be like, but you know me, I felt guilty because I can't stand and watch nobody work. So I finally made myself go over there and help him load the chairs but I ain't really do it all the way. I moved the table so he could get instead of
you assisted.
Right. Well, see, here's the thing.
Help, you assisted.
No, I helped because I actually moved the table, but I got it to the point where it's like a one switch. Instead of you can just grab it and go whoosh, 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 instead of whoosh, 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 whoosh. You know where I got that from though? Taking out steps, working at Burger King and McDonald's. Right? How could I cut out any, I used to try to be can I make one complete action? And so anyway, we got Riis loaded up and out the building. Where's the camera move?
You stomped.
Stomp. Oh, I didn't know I had it like that. I didn't know I had the power stomp. All right, y'all. Well, it's Maze, Riis, and Ruthie. We are all here locked and loaded. It is Easter Monday. So let's get this soul plane up to 60,000 feet. Let's get it up, and away. Ruthie. ComEd say they want $199 million tax hike. You would think, no shade, ComEd would not be talking about no type of tax, nothing. Not tax hike. They want 100. You would think that for a minute they just wouldn't even say nothing.
Exactly. But then to do $199.99. Just ask for the two.
You might as well just go ahead and do $250.
Ask for the two.
Right. I hate when you go to the store and it be like one. You see the one, but you know what's so crazy is your mind is trained that way. The $190, they could be $190, and if it ain't $200, you be like, "Ooh, I'm getting a deal."
That's true. You right.
And don't let them make it 198 or 197. You just be like, I'm gone.
Give me every time.
Yeah, me too. All right. D2s are coming out tomorrow. So we're going to say who got the bag. But it seems like there's money moving around in the universe, Ruth and Mo. So, that's where we're going to get a sneak peek at who's got what in the bank, what their burn rates are, and what they're planning to do for the election. They come in tomorrow, so they'll probably start coming in tonight, overnight, as well as tomorrow. So I'll be checking that out tomorrow. War with Russia. Ruthie. Okay. Did you hear that Russia said to us, stop sending Ukraine weapons, or there will be unpredictable consequences?
They've kind of been saying that. They told us not to even get involved.
So I'm kind of like, do you think so? There was a time in my life, if you are like my age, and maybe a little bit older, probably from me to Todd, you probably lived in a time when Russia, you always thought you could potentially get invaded by Russia. Or Russia, we could go to war with Russia. I remember when Red Dawn came out, the original, not that crap y'all watch now, but when the only black man in Wyoming was the teacher, and he was the first man shot. But they looked out the window, Ruthie, and the Cubans and Superfly was landing, and they was getting ready to take over the country, and it was like free America. And I just gotta say like this, yo, we really, to me, we're on the precipice of just a lot. Like, you got the internal civil war that I think is happening, the internal changing of America. Like, there are people in America who actually sympathize with Russia.
But think about how and why, though. Like, think about what Russia represents. Russia is like that last bastion of like white pride, purity.
Really? Because it ain't no black people. Really? In Russia?
Like, it's like seen as like, we're white. Unapologetically. Like, we can still be unapologetically white. And it's our culture. Like, Russia.
So are they like Aryans too?
It's kind of.
But I thought the Aryans looked down on them.
It's kind of weird because
I always thought of the Russians as like the kind of like the not. I always thought the Russians was like looked down upon in Europe, like, because that's because they quote unquote defeated the Nazis. Right, I put that in air quotes, right? Like, it's very, very, very interesting how Russia represents a brand of whiteness. And I really only discovered this because I was like, why is these conservative Fox News people like jocking Russia? Like, I didn't really understand it. So I just started diving a little bit deeper, but it has to do with that unapologetic whiteness. And, America is kind of seen as, they can't stand the woke culture that's happening. And if you think about those seeds of discontent you just talked about in terms of like the internal strifes in America, think about the role Russia had in sowing some of those seeds. So when we think about where we are now, you got to keep your eye on China and Russia teaming up, taking over. That's basically what's happening. So,
and low key, I can't, when people, this is conspiracies, but I really don't think that all of this stuff, particularly the Rona, all this stuff happened kind of around the same time. Like, remember, they was trying to take Hong Kong. China wasn't necessarily trying to go. America was kind of backing the protesters. Then COVID happened. So I just don't feel like that's an accident. It's Ukraine and Hong Kong both represent to Russia and China, America and the West being all up in their business, and they can't have that. So if you peep game, and this might be like way too, too deep for
I really
people,
want you.
If you peep game, just pay attention to the similarities between Ukraine, Hong Kong, and how they was both trying to be independent, and the fellow countries is like, nah, we ain't going.
Is Russia a friend of the United States? Like, can you be American and support Russia?
think you could.
What does it mean? Like, I don't know. Like, so Ruthie, I feel like when I grew up, Russia, I feel like anybody from my era that is down with Russia is almost like a spy. Like, I don't know how.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I don't know how you could be from like the Cold War era and not be nervous about Russia and defend Russia. I don't know. I remember just the USSR and just dun 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 dun, like, I must break you.
Yeah, that is interesting how the narrative kind of. But you know, when you look at it though, the most of the engagement with Russia and like America, it's about money. It has to do with money.
Money.
Big money.
Big money and investments and
straight big money.
And
you know, Russia got money. That's why they like sanctions.
Oligarchs. They got oligarchs.
Sanctions. Oh, we've been preparing for
this. Do we have Russians in Chicago?
What?
Is there a Russian community in Chicago? Do we have
Chicago got everything, Maze. Straight up. They probably didn't put their flags down.
Das Vidanya.
But Chicago got everything.
Really? I wonder what the Russians in Chicago say about Ukraine.
You already they quiet.
So I got a question. Is there going to be a time when we're going to have to ask people about their position on like Ukraine, like to find out what that means?
Ooh, like a litmus test.
Yeah, I feel like Ukraine is going to be
how people ask about the Palestinians.
Right.
Straight up. I see where you're going with that.
Right. I feel like, especially like the white guys. Like, I feel like black people, like, remember Eddie Murphy, like a black Russian. But I'm just curious to know, like, the role of, we're going to talk about this during the Washington, D.C. update, because I just don't want my son to have to go to war with Russia. I got some people I think we need to be asking these questions, what their position is. One of these days, we're going to get to it. All right, welcome back from the weekend, Ruthie. Did you go to the, hold on, let's do this. Stop. Reese, you up? You wait? All right, so let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Then when we come back, we're going to get through the rest of these headlines. Plus, ask the social media question of the day. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Oh, and we got to welcome the Saints. Get them back in. So it's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
What's up, Chicago? This is your man, Maze Jackson, host of the Maze Jackson Show. You hear me every single day ask the question, what's in it for the black people? Well, finally, y'all, we've got an answer, and it's called the Black People First Party. Meet us every second Saturday of the month from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at TP, located at 5401 South Wentworth, Unit 17E. That's in the mall at the 55th and the Dan Ryan. And you join us every second Saturday of the month, where we are taking our politics black. We'll teach you everything you need to know about the game, from how to collect a petition, to how to knock on a door, to even how to become the next mayor of the city of Chicago. That's right, y'all. It is the Black People First Party. Meet us every second Saturday of the month, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at TP, located at 5401 South Wentworth in the mall at 55th and the Dan Ryan. And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said. This is a black people thing you wouldn't even understand.
Maze Jackson. And now, traffic and weather.
Yo, who said devotion has to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, and I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:34 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports traffic and weather update. As we have over the sports, the Chicago Cubs in action yesterday against the Colorado Rockies. Cubs looking to split the 4-game series as they get on the board early, and they will win yesterday. Let's head over to the White Sox. The White Sox were in action game 6 straight at home. Sox looking to stay hot. Sox come back as they will win. No, I'm sorry, as they will lose yesterday. 1 second. The Sox at home trying to complete a sweep against the Rays yesterday. Rays put up 4 in the first inning, and the Sox were unable to come back as they will lose 9-3. Let's head over to the Kennedy. O'Hare to the Loop will be 24 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 22. On the Edens, Deerfield to the Exchange will be 30 minutes. Exchange to Deerfield will be 27. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop, 35 minutes, 27 minutes back out to Thorndale. While the Stevenson is 37 minutes, I-355 to the Dan Ryan, and 34 minutes outbound. The Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan, 35 minutes, 30 minutes to I-80. While the Dan Ryan is 16 minutes to the Loop, 13 minutes to 95th. On DuSable, Lakeshore Drive, South 55th to Jackson and back will be 7 minutes, 8 minutes north, Randolph to Bryn Mawr, and Bryn Mawr to Randolph. Today's weather, it is currently 36 and cloudy. Today will be a high of 43 with a low of 36. Expect spotty showers throughout the early day. I'm Riis the Ruler. Happy Monday. Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
Glory to Gethsemane, God to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, to God to the grave, from the grave back to glory. Glory to Gethsemane, to God to the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane, to God to the grave, from the grave. Dear Lord, it's me again. I'm calling on you. You did it before. I believe that you can do it again. Somebody calling you right now, Lord. If it ain't one thing we need, somebody else needs you for another. Please, son, look and have mercy. Have mercy over our home, Lord. Have mercy. Have mercy. God's gonna turn it around.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. Hey, Riis got you got an attitude with us this morning, dog. What you mad at us for, dog? Riis giving me the blank stare, right? He was like, I felt like he was emoji me.
I was just focused.
You know, what's that blatant stare emoji? It be, hey, do you need to, do people, when people be putting you, talking about, I always think before you try to do me, you should probably remember what you said to me. Especially remember what you put in writing. Right? Shout out to, I'm just, over the course of the next few months, the next 2 months, you know, Ruthie, I took that slam personally from Fritz Kagi. I did because it's like, I guess I gotta ask, do I tell my question, do I tell the story of the dude coming to me being like, I need you?
Yeah, it's important. Context is important. And that's what people be banking on, not having context. But guess what May's gonna do? Give you the context.
Yeah, in case you was wondering.
Use your context clues, people.
Oh my goodness. Is that Ruthie? Are you? What kind of cookie is that? That's too early.
That's an Easter cookie.
Riis
gave it to me.
Oh no.
It's a regular cookie, right?
Look, I felt like this was a setup.
This a regular cookie.
This felt like a setup, right? He
got Maze too in there. I got him.
This felt like a setup.
See, he got the little.
This feel like
so bogus.
This feel like a
Eat my
setup.
cookie in silence in the peace.
His story.
I feel like
I
this
sat in the chair, ate that cookie, and never got out the chair.
See, it's a setup. They try to set
This is
me
a
up.
delicious shortbread cookie.
Shortbread, huh? It's short on bread, long on cookie.
It's Easter Monday, man.
What's the day? What's the
basket?
Ruthie? I thought as the person that is overseeing my the person overseeing my schedule.
Speaking of, somebody let me tell you what somebody did. I ain't gonna even say their name. Somebody called me talking about some. Yeah, May said I had to go through you in order to get on his calendar. Had the biggest attitude. I said, do you really think you should be talking to the calendar person like that? Because you know you might not get on. So just a word to everybody. You better watch how you talk to people who you need to get scheduled on somebody's calendar. Because I could just have a mishap.
Right, and I'll be broke talking about, I hate payday.
Oh, my God. I'm taking payday off your calendar.
Okay. And then when you be talking about, did you forget something? Payday. It
Can you push the button, Maze?
Man, I be, you know what? In the y'all, like, you know when I really get the attitude, like if I paid you through Cash App, then it wouldn't be a problem because I ain't gotta look at it all. So but when I always got a question with Riis. Cause his joint come through the Zelle, right? And so I got to go all the way into like with Cash App, I just ain't gotta look and I ain't gotta think about it. But when I gotta go into the box and be like, and I watch it go, and you know they send it. You know when you do it, it be like that, and it be like money out the door. Cash App just be like, just put it in your pocket. They be like, it says received. I'll be done. All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Y'all better be nice to Ruthie getting on the calendar. And I am. So I will tell you, though, y'all should definitely, Ruthie is the plug. Because it's like I show up to the meeting. I be on time. I'm prepared. The whole thing. So help me, help you, help us. By helping me get more organized. So work it out for me. Don't take it as a bad thing. Take it as I'm going to be there.
Straight up.
Right? Because it used to be so many times people be like, we had a meeting. I'd be like, we did.
Did you see me a calendar invite?
Right, because I show, if you are waiting on me to send the calendar invite, it ain't going to happen.
Scheduling is not easy. It's hard coordinating people's schedules. Like, it's tedious.
All right. Well, I'm here, Ruthie. All right, so let me see what else we got. We did War with you. We did. Oh, so Easter Sunday. Did you tell me what you did? You ain't tell me what you did for Easter.
Barbecue with the fam.
What y'all barbecue?
Oh, chicken, asparagus.
You cannot barbecue asparagus.
Yes, you can.
Did you put sauce on it?
I actually did a little olive oil, sea salt.
I don't like asparagus.
You don't?
No,
Why not?
I just tastes like, it's got that like after-y taste to me. It's like that.
It's delicious.
Ugh.
Yeah, your pee gonna smell like asparagus.
Okay.
And that's the worst part about eating asparagus.
Okay, well, we really don't want that.
I'm just saying, that's the worst part.
It's nobody. Just not a.
It's a natural thing that happens,
it's okay. It's good. Okay, I got you. All right, so asparagus. No. What else did you have Easter egg hunt?
The young people did.
Jersey J came through yesterday, and my daughter she was like, Dad, I can't decide what she's gonna wear. She's gonna wear church clothes, or is she gonna wear? Because my daughter's a fashionista. She came through looking like a church angel.
Oh, I know you got a picture.
I do, and I wanted to fuss because she had on some little stumpy heels. She was so proud of her little clacking around yesterday. Oh, I was just like, I was like, take all my money.
What was inside the eggs?
I didn't do eggs. I gave her cash because her mom.
She didn't even get to find nothing.
Her mom already did the eggs, and I was just like, you know what? This baby got so much stuff. She ain't gonna know which one is granddaddy egg. So mama buy her some and eat some food and have some cookies and come kick it. We had a good time though. It was great.
Y'all had regular black people Easter food.
We did ribeyes. What else did I do? We did ribeyes, lamb chops. I sauteed collard greens instead of made them the regular way. And then did some sweet potato fries that I cut by hand, and then I did some roasted green beans. Didn't really have very much dessert. Ate some ice cream and cookies, but we had a good time. You know what I wanted? Some deviled eggs. I need my mama to make me some deviled eggs too, but I got her deviled eggs tray. But mom, I need some deviled eggs
How
from
she
you.
gonna make them? She ain't got the tray.
Let me tell you, my mama have them all packed up nice and neat and thing, and I'm gonna get it. Shout out to Auntie Neil, who is selling my son a car. That's all dope. That's dope. He excited. Did he reach out to you? He should be reaching out. And let me back up. And she probably not up, so we're gonna have to come back. And can y'all remind me at 8:00 to go back to the Rago Babo? Because in case you all did not know, first of all, it's really hard for me to root for Hubert H. Humphrey High School because I went to BJ Ward, but now the world has changed, and so my niece goes to Hubert H. Humphrey, and so that is where my heart resides in Bolingbrook. Hubert H. Humphrey is in the older part of Bolingbrook, and I think that on the upper part of Bolingbrook, they tend to think that they have an advantage. Well, shout out to the mathletes. Now, y'all know my Rago Babo is already a swim superstar. But not only is she a swim superstar athlete, she is also a mathlete, right? And they won the number one school in the district, mathletes, and Reagan being the only black child on the team represented. So y'all give a big shout out to the Rago Babo for winning the Valley View School District Mathletes Contest. Ruthie,
That's huge.
you should have seen it. It looked like a sporting event too.
I was part of mathletes. Wasn't that good, but I was a part of it.
You was? Math is like my worst subject. All I
Then
know
under
how to do is
pressure
count.
too, I'm like, I can't do this. Put me on the bench, coach.
I just like, what was it? 17 times 3,652,000 divided by pi squared equals the square root of, man,
It's
please.
intense.
Pass.
Do they use calculators or is it?
7th grade math champ, the Rago Babo. And it's middle school, you know. But that's okay, because that's my baby Rago Babo. So when she wake up, let me know, because we got to shout out to the mathletes. We got to celebrate our children's. Now, you know, they be making all the sports cool now. Back in the day when I was a shorty, you didn't want to be on the math team or the chess team. Now it's like it's hip to be square. It's like, and Reagan ain't square, because can I just tell you, Reagan, I'd be like, where you get your fashion from? Because your mom, no shade, Auntie Neil, but Rago Babo, and when you be seeing like the baby girls turn into like the fashionable, you know what I'm saying, and she be dressed and Rago be dressed, and I think that, all right, shout out to Rago Babo. That's right, Uncle May's got much love for you. Shout out to Easy P. Did you see Hunter Payne stopped in with us on Friday and did his sports report? He was trying to get Riis job. He was like, Uncle Mays, can I come back in and watch what Riis does?
He got a cold name though.
Hunter Payne. Bulls last night, Riis. I thought we was gonna get blown all the way out at first. They made it a valiant effort, man. I'm thinking I might go to Milwaukee and catch one of the games. Or you think it's easier to catch it here?
Probably catch it here, man.
Yeah, I'm probably take the boy. We want to go catch a Bulls game. We go check it out. You know what I'm saying?
Walk down the street, man.
Man, you right. You right. You right. Maybe you drop us off after you drive when you're on the wheels of steel. Just drop us off. It's all good to walk though when we coming back. It's except for when it's cold. Now I'm gonna tell you what. When it's in the summertime, I walk all the time. But boy, when it is cold, it ain't no joke. Let's see. And there are still, shout out to all the men of Phi Beta Sigma who were kicking it at the Black Fire Brigade this weekend, celebrating the birthday of Harold Washington, who, by the way, was a member. The greatest fraternity in the whole entire world, Phi Beta Sigma. Shout out to Brother Harold Washington on his 100th birthday. The brothers got to kick it. I was not kicking it. I was sleeping until Riis came to hit me up with the, can I get the table, boss? Sure, Riis. And then let me just tell you this. Ruthie, did you see this weekend? Did you see this weekend when Riis came to the Black People First meeting and then he talked and people knew who he was? And then he like, yeah, I'm Riis. Yeah, I'm Riis. You know, people be knowing my voice. I'm Riis. Like he was feeling kind of famous, right? coming into. See, I was like, I should charge you for that, but that's it's a really good feeling though.
Not for the walk-in.
Nah, not for the walk-in. For the people don't be saying like you gonna be somewhere one day and somebody gonna be like, man, could you do the voiceover for me? And then you gonna be like, why? Yes, I can. And somewhere in there you gonna be like, and let me get Maze his cut. See. They be like, Riis be like, I be going places and people just be knowing as soon as I talk. See, I was in the hallway the other day and they was like, are you Riis the Ruler? Man, see? I done got your fam club and everything.
They just want to ask me how I'm
See?
doing.
They
How you doing?
Because they want to hear me say blessed for the best.
I don't know. See? Look, they be like, see, got him a class. They be like, they used to be like to me, Maze, can you do it? Come on, Maze, come on. Let's do it. What's in it for the black people? You can tell them. Maze said, right? See? See? You got to build your brand, dog. You can build your whole routine off that. They be booking you, or they could be booking you. You know how people get booked to come to the party, say, what's up, this DJ Riis, blessed by the best. You already know the rest. And they be,
Riis, you would go crazy.
I just got my first booking. I get my first one this Saturday. Somebody actually booked me to host their party.
See? He ain't bring nothing home.
You should have just kept that one to yourself.
Right.
I mean, I'm going to be posting it on my page, so you know it's going to be right there. It's going to say hosted by Riis the Ruler, so I really can't hide it too much.
You're not supposed to hide it. You're supposed to be like, now if it was generated from the universe, then you're supposed to be like, hey man, then I say, you know what? Go on, keep that. Go on, do right by yourself.
Do right by yourself.
Right. Go ahead. That's all I want for people. Do right by yourself. Hey, I ain't took no money out of nobody's pocket. Only put it in. For the most part. It's the Mace Jackson Show. Tell the truth, shame the devil. All right. Ruthie, did you know only 15% of the firefighters in the city of Chicago are black?
15?
Just 15%. Which made me get to my point where I want to go today. Riis, you got your finger on the button? Because I'm ready. So when you're ready, make sure you got the slide up so when you hit it, it get the whole thing. Ready? Let's do it.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
Do black people hold positions of money, power, and respect in Chicago? I was thinking about this even as I was talking about the firefighters. The job of a firefighter is one of the most desired positions in the public service if you're an employee, right? Was it like 2 days on and 3 days on and 4 days off? You fight the fires, but it is widely been known as a bastion of whiteness, right? Like you see way more black policemen than you see black firefighters. Mm-hmm. But I was thinking about it. A lot of times, a lot of people like that job because it allows you to have another job, right? Because of the schedule and the freedom, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I want to commend every firefighter who puts their life on the line. Shout out to my dude, Ness. But it got me to thinking about the positions that black people hold in power. And I know a firefighter is not, quote unquote, a position of power. But I was thinking about positions of money, power, and respect all in the same spot. Right? Do we? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Oh, before I do that, though, welcome to the Saints. I did not welcome the Saints from WBGX 1570 AM who join us every day at 6:30 and go from 6:30 to 8. Thank you to the Saints, 6:30 to 8 every day. Join us on WBGX 1570 AM. You can give us a call at 872-259-7474. Now, if you are one of the sinners, you join us every day from 6, go all the way to 9. And you can join us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. That's right, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. This is the Mace Jackson Show. Social media question of the day. Do we hold positions of money, power, and respect all in the same spot? One of the things that I was thinking about is, okay, so let me back up. One of the things that I did after I got kind of blasted in this newspaper, in this BGA article, was to go look and see Well, like, who is there? Like, what is it? What's the entity, et cetera, et cetera? Because, like, it's not a newspaper. Mm-hmm. It's a nonprofit organization that is put together by wealthy people, particularly Republicans, who would like to have an outlet to take on corruption in Chicago, knowing that they are in the minority, and they would say that the news and the press all leans towards them. So they have created a nonprofit entity such as the BGA that has the Better Government Association, that has the authority of the name and title, but is actually funded by wealthy people. My question, who want to influence, help, hurt, or shed light on issues that are of concern to them. So when I was looking at this BGA thing, I realized that the first person when you go there is Ken Griffin, like their largest donor, right? And so now I'm saying, how gangster is that without ever, and I'm not saying it has to do with me per se, but creating the entities to shape your own narrative, your own world. Ruthie, who are the black people that have both have money, power, and respect? So the money to do what they say they want to do, the power to make people who don't want to do what they want to do it, and the respect for doing it. And who has all three? So, like I would say, let's take Willie Wilson. I would say he has money. I would say he has one of the three. Who black has two or three of the three? What positions are they? Are there job titles that match power? How can they help? And who's got the biggest impact on black? Who are the black people in Chicago with money, power, and respect? And this is going to go to another point that I'm talking about later when it comes to the remap. Who black can command money, power, and respect? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Because the funny part is, in my mind, there are white people that have all three that we never even seen. You know the Ken Griffins of the world. You know the J.B. Pritzkers of the world. But who are the black people? And let's not even say they can move the world, but can move, that have the money, power, and respect in black Chicago. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Who has money, power, and respect? Because I think those are all necessary tools, right? People don't like Ken Griffin, but you got to respect him. He got the money. He got the power. And he bought the respect, because by the money that he got, you can't help but deny him. Who has that quality for black people?
Well, if he can buy his respect, then I think Dr. Willie Wilson then.
Dr. Willie Wilson can't. We respect white money. We don't respect black money.
Okay, you add in a new little extra part. All right.
Okay, but I'm saying, but give us black. Like there's nobody that will deny. There's nobody black that's denying Ken Griffin money, power, or respect. There are 1/3 at least of black people that will deny Willie Wilson respect or power. Who has all three in the black community? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Caller, you're on the Maze Jackson Show. Who has money, power, and respect in the black community?
Good morning, Maze. How are you? This is Katie.
Hey, Katie, congratulations, Granny.
8 pounds, 4 ounces. 8 pounds, 4 ounces.
Oh, that was a big one. That was a big one.
I'm so proud.
We
Anyway,
proud for
as I was sitting there and yesterday checking some things out after the baby, the mom and the baby got discharged from the hospital by the house. So anyway, I said to myself, this better go. BGA is something else. I mean, there's so much that we don't know about stuff that's going on. I said, now, the nerves of the BGA. And I said, let me look up the BGA, and it's just another group that does what they want to do. It's, it bothers my mind. I said, these people are something else. And then I said, well, who are their, where do they get their money? And I said, who are their donors? But I didn't know that Ken Griffin was one of their donors until you just mentioned it this morning. I just got on and just woke up. And I said, wow, this is, how white people run their stuff is really something. This white supremacist stuff, it's really, really something. They got a big head up on us. And with Claude Anderson, what he say is true. He said, one of the things he said that we needed to first do is to get the money. He said, then we get the money. He said, we buy the politicians.
Yep.
We buy the politicians. And he said this 40 years ago, buy the politicians. And I said, that's what they're doing. With this lobbyist stuff that they did on you, their opinion. I said, who gave them the opinion to have this opinion? And then who gave them the credibility to have this opinion? Thank God nowadays we have a media where you have, I think that was a shot, but we did on your own platform, not on theirs.
Thank you.
This is really something. So that's my comment. I just got on, so I got to catch up. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. And I'd more so think of it from the standpoint of so when you look at, say, like Ruthie, who has black money, power, and respect? Is there any feared black man in Chicago? Is there any black man that if they came for them, is there a black man that white people fear, are concerned with, that has the money, the power, and the respect of black people? Like, I think we got wealthy black people, but I don't know that they have power or respect either at home or in their space. Like, I think that most black people, if they make it to the table, don't come to the table as a power broker. They come to the table as being happy to be, or concerned about keeping their space at the table, instead of saying that I have the ability. Like, who's the black person? If there was 10 families, 10 black people in Chicago, or 10 people in Chicago, who's the black person that we send to the table, that goes to the front, that could put itself on the table and stand up and be like, this where we at. This ain't happening. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Is there anybody black in Chicago that has the money, the power, and respect that translates outside of the black community? Because I think we all get a lot of kick out of jumping on black people and being able to whoop black people. But can you transfer that power to the big table? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Anybody on that line? Caller, you're on the Maze Jackson Show. Who black has money, power, and respect in Chicago?
Good morning, my son.
Good morning, Sister Zakia. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. I like to listen on my app, but on this one, I just had to get busy. For some reason or another, I can't get in, though, on my iPad. It won't let me in, but I had to call in early. That's the point I'm making. I wasn't going to call, but on this one, by far, I'm going to answer your question. By far, hands down, Minister Louis Farrakhan, I don't know any other black man can move almost 2 million men to Washington, D.C. I don't know any other man that can change the lives of black men and women with the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad like Minister Louis Farrakhan can. He has the money because the people give to the cause. Why do people give to the cause? Because the cause is worthy. It changes the lives of people who have been affected by this wicked, toxic system. Okay? So I didn't even have to dwell on it. I didn't have to wonder about it. Now, I can't forget our brother, Dr. Willie Wilson. He's God's man, as in my eyesight as well. But by far and foremost, number one is Minister Louis Farrakhan, my son.
Thank you, Sister Zakiya.
That's my answer. That's my answer.
I see, and I knew what your answer was going to be, and that is passionate. Thank you, Sister Zakiya. I got to ask you, though, let's take a quick break, and then we're going to come back. It's the social media question of the day. Who black has money, power, and respect? Like, is there anybody that the white people be like, we don't want no problems? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Group letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Group events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Group members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Group letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
I love being black. Do you love being black? Yeah, I love being black. Hey. Do this for my people all across the globe. Hey, it's break. The skin I'm in fit me fine, tailor-made, yeah, I'm comfortable. And so it seems I'm still chasing my dreams. They told me, watch my steps, they want to pull the rug from under you. This is transparency, my life 3D. You live every word that I utter, reporting live from the gutter. Where the mind's hard to change, but we don't give up on our brothers and sisters. Cause we all need one another. The time's getting closer, revolution, feel it coming. I can smell it in the air. Inhale it, let it embody you. Because chances are the cops pull you over, they body you. Plus we don't trust each other, so there's just another obstacle. Why jump hurdles to make a change? It ain't optional. Olympian mindset in this booth with my binoculars. I see my vision getting clear. Justice what a prophet do. My music touch the people's soul. Black power gospel tune. So many styles, watch me kick them like they soccer moves. Falling rank and file, this is my platoon. Soldiers at attention, ain't no Willie lynching. This the program. Who they think they kidding? Reinvent the system. Total reconstruction of our mental stigma. This ain't a game, boy. Still they think I'm talking about Nintendo's. That's a shame, boy. Augment reality. Better fix your brain, boy. I love my people, hope they love me black. I'm going hard and ain't no holding back. Watch me react, I put my fist up in the skies like a beacon for believers that one day we return to our greatest sin. We seek it all the glory we can obtain and keep reaching. I'm painting this picture, I hope you see it. Just what the theme is. I love being black. We turning up. I love being black. Say it loud, man. I love being black. One more time. I love being black. Hey. Well, how about you to sing these tunes too? Customize for you a little something you can groove to. Feeling good about yourself. Melanated mood muse. Always service humble pie. We don't care about who's who. Light brown or dark skin. This right here's for you too. We are the guys.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to life, can't toast no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Riis and Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect you oppressed is all wrong.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my girl Ruthie Mo in the building. Ruthie, you all shiny today. Did you put your baseline on before you got out the shower? Do you wear Vaseline?
Coconut oil.
Coconut oil. Coconut oil. So like nuts and berries, it be coconut oil. People be cooking with coconut oil, and you put it on your face. Like that's like putting Crisco.
Not a lot.
Coconut oil, food cooked in coconut oil don't be right to me.
I had some banana chips cooked in.
Okay, that coconuts and bananas make sense. Mm-hmm. Coconut oil and fried chicken do not.
But it's good for your skin. In moderation, not a lot though.
Vaseline is great. Mine, look, I'm blemishless.
That's true. You might be onto something.
I'm blemishless. My like people be like, "Oh my God, your skin is so smooth."
You've been using it your whole life, right?
Every single day. They be like, "Your skin is so smooth."
You do got decent skin.
No, I have great skin. You don't even see no pits. The only thing you see is right here. That's because when I was playing bumper cars on roller skates and got knocked into the sticker bush. And then that's
them
how
sticker bugs. I know what you're talking about.
Man, that bad. I was all the way in the bush. They had to get me out. Like I got knocked. Oh, remember when they used to make the fences out of pipes in the hood? It'd be like a concrete block, and then they would have like a pipe that would go across it. It'd be like, woo, woo, woo. We was playing bumper cars on skateboards, and somebody pushed me into one of them red sticker bushes. And they had to take me out. And it was like, just getting me out was like the pain. But the only thing I had left was this.
Who got all them sticker bugs off you?
I think I passed out, so I think they might have just stuck them. They wasn't sticker bugs. They were thorns. Like them bushes with them little short spikes. Imagine being in it. Like you get knocked. Not like you get knocked in it and they got to get somebody to come get you out of it. Yeah, it was bad. Anyway, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Who in Black in Chicago has money, power, and respect? Money, power, and respect. All three. Is there anybody Black in Chicago that the white people feel like they got to respect? Like they gotta they gotta bow down to. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Riis, who's on the line? Caller? I bet that's Byron. Caller.
Yeah, thanks for
What's up, James? Nothing nasty today. Nothing nasty, man. Nothing nasty.
Nothing nasty. How you doing? I just want to say this. Everybody going to say Jesse Jackson and Louis Farrakhan and maybe even Johnson Jackson and maybe a few other elected officials. But I think if you want real power, you have to create your power. You go to Melrose Park, the Italians, they run it. They smart. They work together. You have to create your own power. If one starts a business and he needs a service, he'll get one of his friends to help him start a business for a service that he needs. You know, and so when we learn to work together like that, you know, I work for a trucking company that was started by a friend of a guy that already had a company. He needed truck drivers to do certain work, so he helped his friend start a truck driving company. You know, these are the type of relationships we should have, and I'm sure we've probably done in the past, but because of racism in America, a lot of those things were destroyed. You know, we just have to rebuild. Black people have always made strides to build things. It's just that, you know, because of white people racism, you know, and now it's Hispanic racism and Asian, you know, but if we stick together and get the things that we need to protect ourselves when they come at us, you know, like they did in Oklahoma, you know, they'll back off. And that's basically my point. Thank you.
Thanks, James. I guess my question, and Junior is saying, define power over who and what. And I guess how do you quantify it? Ruthie, I feel like there are tables that are convened at a level that is way higher than us that make decisions about Chicago. And when those decisions are made, they can do whatever, right? Think about this. When the Sun-Times went up for sale, there were wealthy white and black people who put up the $13 million to do it. There was a group of people that got together and said, look, we can't let this publication go out of business because it is the liberal, or it is the paper that gives us our perspective. We can't just let the Tribune, it can't be a one newspaper town. There were people that were invited to purchase, right? So organized labor was invited to purchase. Michael Sachs, billionaire. Mr. H was one of the people that was invited to purchase and put up the money to buy this news outlet. Right? Like, I would say the closest to that has, I would say that and I really don't want to anyway, I want to know who you think it is. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Who black has money, power, and respect? Because I don't know that just having money can get you power. It can get you respect in some spaces. But like, is there anybody that they be like, man, I don't want no problems. I don't want no smoke. Like the white folks be like, it would be too much damage. We might win, but it would be too much damage. Who black can move black people? Who has the combination? And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know that we have money, power, and respect at a city or statewide level individually. I think you have to put people together to equal that.
You have to.
So then my question would be, who are those people? But give us a call, 872-259-7474. Who are the black people in Chicago with money, power, and respect? Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show.
Hey, good morning. What's going on, Maze?
James Big Slim Davis. Hey, man, I did get your Zelle, too. Thank you, brother.
No problem. Hey, Ruthie. Good morning, Ruthie.
Morning.
And Maze, when you said you really don't know if there is a black man financially
besides the minister, besides James.
Okay,
so,
because I understand. No, what I'm saying is, I think you're talking on a political level, because a lot of times the ministers don't dwell in politics. He counsel, but he don't dwell in politics. And absolutely, Minister Farrakhan, in my opinion, not only is the most respected black man, but the freest black man on the face of earth. My opinion, I was one of them reformed, the worst of us. I was one of them, and how it helped me and reformed me. And I done seen this time and time again, sisters and brothers coming through the Nation of Islam. And on October 16th, 1995, he solidified himself of who he is. I mean, here you are, you have one gender of the world see this one gender, it's the black man, as the scum of the earth. But yet it was this one man who called these men to that mall. 2 million And on that day, brother, I witnessed heaven on that day. To look out the sea of them black men and see them tears coming down the faces of black men, I could die tomorrow. And I could say, I honestly, I witnessed heaven on that day. And I thank Minister Farrakhan. I thank Nation of Islam for what it did for me, because I was in the grave, brother, honestly. So I'm gonna go with Minister Farrakhan. He is the most respected, fearless, freest black man on planet Earth. My opinion.
I would give you that. I guess,
so that's all I want to say.
Thanks, James. And I am sort of talking politics, but I am talking about the collection. See, to me, I can the most powerful people buy the politicians. Or not buy, but when the most powerful people come in the room, the people that we think are powerful scramble around. Right? And so I don't, and on the premise of Minister Farrakhan, I think Minister Farrakhan is the freest black man in the country. But I think they try to keep him in a box. Right? And I think the person has to, and so I don't want to take him off of the table. But I think he sits in a different space. Right? Like, I think he's more spiritual than, I mean, there's physical and tangible, but who's walking in the city hall?
So, politics. Political power.
Who's walking in the city hall and saying, don't cross us because either we going to shut you. Yeah, well, I would guess it would. Political with the ability to understanding its place in the whole universe, though. See, I feel like wealth is legislated. But once you've got the wealth, then you control the legislation. So they only gonna vote on what you put on the table. So my question becomes, who has the money, power, and respect for black people, or the combination thereof, that, because we getting ready to talk about this remap and what's getting ready to happen with that. And I'm trying to get an answer to this first, so that we can start to talk about the remap and what's going to happen there. Because if you can't define who's got the money, power, and respect, and if it's who's got money, who's got power, who's got respect, who needs to be put together to give us that, if that be the case. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. And who of our, because I would tell you that there are some players. Definitely. And I think, Brother Edward, you mentioned one. I'm not going to put him on blast, but if he's in the chat, that's fine. But what is the combination? And I guess my question is, because for those people, their race is run, if that makes sense. Like, they've been fighting on the battlefield to the sun. And again, if the warrior kings, who are the not the beneficiaries? Who becomes the money, the power, and the respect if those ones that we have now are 80 plus? Because you're going to need those three things to go into the war to save Black Chicago. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. Caller, you're on the Mace Jackson Show. Who has the money, power, and respect? Or are they three separate things that we need to find in people? Who you got, caller?
Hey, what's up, man? What's going on, man? This is Devin, bro. Good morning. What's up, Ruthie? What's up, Riis?
Devo, what's up, dog? Hey, man, thank you for your call last week. It meant a lot to me, man. I went back and learned a lot. So let me just also say this very quickly, and then I'm gonna let you have the floor. I did not have perspective last week on why you called the way you called. So while it touched me tremendously, I also appreciate you recognizing I don't want to call it the treachery, but I appreciate you recognizing what I see every day and try to navigate through. Thank you for your support, brother, on everything else. You and Tamiko and my whole squad. But thank you, brother. So with that in mind, what's up, Devo? How you feeling today?
Hey, I'm feeling good, man. I think just like everybody else was saying, the first thought that came to my mind was the honorable minister. But just to keep the conversation going, I don't think any one black person in the Chicagoland area has all three. And honestly, I think it would be very detrimental if we promoted a person that had all three, because then they could be easily surrounded and harmed. You know what I'm saying? So I think the goal should be to spread that risk out, spread that influence, power, respect out, so that, you know, we're growing more than just concentrating these items in 1, 2 central locations. You know what I'm saying? So if they already 60, 70, 80, then we already at risk, because, you know, very seldomly can that power influence be transferred to somebody else, because we lack the unity, we lack the communication, we lack the steadfastness, we lack the desire to really be unified and to be focused. We lack the discipline. That's really what it is. We lack the discipline to execute what the person in power would want to be done. You know what I'm saying? So it is, you know, like we just gotta clean up a lot of issues before we can kind of have that conversation. But I would say nobody, and there's got to be some sort of grouping that can execute whatever that tactic or whatever that strategy is. It can't just be one person. So that's kind of my comment, because that's where it's gonna lead to. It ain't. So you know, it ain't one person, bro.
So I'm with you on that, kind of, Devin. But I would tell you that so I've been watching these formations, and for us, we think of it as one person. When it's the white folks, they come to the table with 25 of them, right, per group.
Exactly.
Right. So we should never. But my point is, and I do agree, maybe we shouldn't even identify them because it gives a issue. But my one of my mentors says he never wants to be the guy, because when there's one guy, it's easy to pick that one guy out and shoot him. But if it's 300
that's
people
my point.
across the point, then. But my thing is, and in this, and I 100% agree now that I think about it, we should not personally identify those people. But I do want us to think about that fact, because, Devin, we got a remap war going on, and we got to figure out who are the players that need to be engaged in this thing. And I'm gonna talk about it a little bit later. But thank you for your point right there.
And I'll just close with this, bro. Like that's really how we have to come at basically everything. Who are the players on the board, and bring them into the fold, and let their expertise allow them to lead within their expertise. Y'all have a great day, bro.
That's my man, Devo. Hey, I hope DJ got 3 boxes of clothes cause Jasmine and them didn't come to the meeting. So Devin got a bunch of clothes. Young people, keep on coming to the Black People First meetings. That was Devin Gordine. He is the vice president of Black People First, of WIIFTBP. This is the Maze Jackson Show. Who has the money, power, and respect? Do we have people like that in Chicago? Are they all three, or do we have to combine them to get there? What say you, caller? It's the Maze Jackson Show.
Mama, hallelujah, greetings to you, Mama D here.
Hey, Mama D, how you doing?
I'm good. Are the Obamas a Chicagoan?
Obama's not, to me. Michelle is, but I'll give you that. We can say that. Okay, yeah, let's say they are.
I'd say they have the power and they have the money, but I don't respect them. But
exactly. Exactly.
And I also think that the most powerful black man in Chicago is a white man named Father Flaker. But he doesn't have the money.
Oh, Mama D.
And
see, look at you look at you starting stuff early in the morning. I know he the king of the black people, but don't be starting stuff early.
I know stuff. I mean, you asked the question. You know, I believe on the side of truth, especially on the side of black people and the truth, because everybody else's story is on the table. But the Catholic Church, no, he don't have the power as I think of it, because when he got in that little situation, the church locked him down and the money was locked down. And no, I have to remove him, but Reverend Jackson. Now, I think worldwide, that Reverend Jackson has the money, the power, and the respect. But locally, I'm not so sure. So
that's a very.
I have to go into Minister Farrakhan's basket too.
Okay, thank you, Mama D. I appreciate you. This is the Mace Jackson Show. When we come back, I want to give you some stats on Black Chicago. Because we're getting ready to go into a remap. Friday, I was at a meeting. 2 Fridays ago, I was at a meeting of the Black Caucus regarding the remap situation. And it looks like we are rapidly approaching the deadline, Ruthie, where we are going to have the fight. It is going to be a political Armageddon. What's that, Avenger Endgame? Mm-hmm. I think that this next coming map that is coming up in 2 months, this campaign that is about to come up on us in 2 months, that could determine our whole future. And I was trying to get to the money, power, and respect, because I think there's a war brewing with a short window. And we don't know who. We got to do what you call that? You be saying, well, let's do a SWAT. I want to do, let's do a SWAT. I'll be like, what the hell is a SWAT? Strengths, weaknesses, and what?
Opportunities, threats.
Right. Opportunities and threats. And I don't think that we've done that. But before we do that, I want to just kind of put some things in perspective regarding what's going on with this map. It's the Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back. Who is the team that we need to mobilize to save Black Chicago? Who is that team? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. We'll be back after these messages.
The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Broken screen? Crashed system? Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop, located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
And now, traffic and weather.
Why money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? I don't want to work for nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free?
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 7:34 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports traffic and weather report. As we head over to sports, the Chicago Cubs in action yesterday, taking on the Colorado Rockies. Cubs back got going early as Suzuki homers again. This is 4th homer of the season, and he stays hot as the Cubs win 6-4. Over to the south side, the White Sox at home trying to complete a sweep against the Rays. Rays put up 4 runs in the first inning, and the Sox could not recover as they would lose 9-3. On the Kennedy, O'Hare to the Loop will be 37 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 31. On the Edens, 45 minutes. Deerfield to Exchange. Exchange to Deerfield will be 32. On the Eisenhower, Thorndale to the Loop, 42 minutes, 45 minutes back out to Thorndale, while the Stevenson is a 45 drive from I-355 to the Dan Ryan, and 37 minutes outbound. The Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan, 38 minutes, 43 minutes to I-80, while the Dan Ryan is 21 minutes to the Loop, and there's an accident, so it will be 23 minutes to 95th. Through Sabo, Lakeshore Drive South, 55th to Jackson will be 10 minutes. Jackson to 55th will be 7, and it's still 8 minutes north. Today's weather is currently 36 and cloudy. Will be a high of 43 with a low of 36. I'm Reese the Ruler. Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
Working overtime, but my pockets ain't flooding. Yeah, my funds low. A dog life is gas. Why it ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? Why can't they just give it to me? I don't wanna work, but nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? Yeah. Why can't you just give it to me? I don't wanna work, but nobody. I'd rather keep doing me. Why money ain't free? How the money ain't free? Every 5 minutes, kids bothering me. They seem to think that money grows on trees. Always asking for allowance and clean one thing. Sick and tired of my funds being low. Spent the whole bag on the groceries at the store. Got a little something, but I need a little more. And I'm a single mama, you should already know. Why money ain't free? Why the money ain't free? Why can't you just give it to me? I don't wanna work, but nobody. I'd rather keep doing me, doing me. Why money ain't free?
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host Ruthie Moore. Got my man DJ Riis the Ruler, Colorado. They said it's no. Riis talk like talk the scene like Riis. You got an old soul. Talk about
Colorado.
Colorado.
Oh, Riis.
Oh,
Colorado.
Oh, Riis.
Colorado.
Colorado.
Colorado. What's the old folks?
Oh, goodness.
Go over there and wrench around that corner. Wash. Wash
Wrench
them
it out in the sink.
Wrench it out. Wrench.
Hey, you know I said that.
Like, what's the commercial? What's the one he do on the commercial? He do one on the commercial.
Oh, you talking about Riis?
Yeah.
Computer repair commercial.
Yeah. The computer repair. He got one in the computer repair.
What I got on now, I'm have to listen.
We got to go back. Yeah, we be like every time. We be like, man, you be perfect. You be perfect voiceover right there. You be like, I can't even think of what it is.
Amalams.
Definitely is Amalams. Amalams.
Oh God, it's the Maze Jackson Show.
It's an urban accent, okay?
Yes. Okay, so can I tell you something? So I'm gonna give you an update because I want to talk about the remap and I want to put it in perspective. Ruthie, the 2020 census revealed or reported. Let's not say revealed that Chicago has a population of 2,746,388 people. Divided by 50 is roughly 55,000 people per ward. Of that, 864,000 people in Chicago are white. 820,000 people are Latino. 788,000 people are black. And 145,000 people are Asian. Ruthie, we are on a precipitous slope. You know, we've been talking about Harold Washington and the Harold Washington legacy. And at the time Harold Washington was elected, Ruthie, we had 1.6 million black people in Chicago. 1.6 million. This was literally a black city. Now just think, we've lost almost 1 million black people in those 30 years. Right? I'm not going to touch the legacy part, but we've lost almost 1 million black people in the 30 years. And Ruthie, do you remember the story of like how it used to be like all the time they would be showing pictures of black people with millions of babies and all type of stuff, and it's like we can't birth our way out of this. We cannot have enough children now. And now y'all got the 7-year itch in y'all arm. So y'all know y'all they done probably just we ain't gonna be able to birth our way out. So I gotta ask, what parts of Black Chicago are vulnerable, and what do we need to protect in Chicago to keep our legacy? Now, I'm talking about this, and I'm going to put it in perspective of the ward map, but let me just give you a snapshot of Chicago and how white folks are planting their flags. If you think about the East Side encroachment, right now, first of all, 31st, let's just use 31st Street Beach as an example. Shout out to Nikki. Dang, I can't think of Nikki's last name for whatever now. But and 31st Street at the 31st Street Beach. But check this out. Think about 31st Street Beach used to be the Black Beach. It is the Margaret Burroughs Beach, but they now have a Salerno's boathouse, and it is it's a white boathouse. But I want you to think about from 31st Street, think about Hyde Park. I want you to go. Hyde Park is already changing. University of Chicago has kind of already changed it. You go through there, it's all built up. But now I want you to connect the Obama Center to the Tiger Woods Golf Course from Hyde Park. So now your southeast side is being encroached, compared with also adding the fact that east lakefront property is lakefront property. So now you think about the fact that coming from the east and the north is the Obama Center and the Tiger Woods Golf Course. So lake all the way up to 70 something. Okay. Then when you think about coming from the south, think about the South Loop. Remember Roosevelt? Think about now the South Loop comes all the way to 22nd. And now Chinatown is coming across the expressway all the way to the lake. So what's those apartments, Prairie Shores and all that?
Lake Meadows.
Lake Meadows. Those are now becoming, which used to be the starting point for black people, Nikki Hayes. The starting point for black people when they were getting their start in Chicago, Prairie Shores or Lake Meadows, you could get your apartment and then you launched out from there. You got a divorce, you go there, you get started, you start yourself over. So now the South Loop is all the way to 35th. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I want you to go. We had our meeting in the 18th Ward, which became one of the strongest, largest voting populations and was built as a supermajority ward. It was a $20 million fight led by Barack Obama that eventually led to the creation of the 18th Ward as a supermajority black ward. When I lived there in 2007, the Latinos were just starting to make their way into Scottsdale, which was between Central and Cicero. Okay. Now they're all the way to Kedzie, right? With a march towards Western. So now if you think about it, we're being lassoed in. Then if you go to, that's the southwest side. And then if you look at the West Loop, you look at the west side, the West Loop is now all the way to Ogden/Ashland. And the west side new expansion has crossed Western and is now at California. So now my question is, what do we need to protect in Chicago? Now, I say that because also at the same time, we now have a ward map battle, right? Between the blacks and the Latinos, and the encroachment is happening. And I don't know that we recognize. Like, I feel like we're in Ukraine, and you know how they said, what's that city, Mirror, whatever, and the Russians are in a circle around them, and they got the guns, and they like, just lay down your weapons?
They said surrender or die.
Right.
Not lay down your weapons.
So, they had till 6 o'clock yesterday. And then if not, then it was on and popping. But I guess my question is, Ruthie, one, what do we have to defend in Chicago? Are there things that are black that we have to defend? Like, do we have to defend Chatham? Mm-hmm. Like, because in this map, remember, they was like, the map was written, they had a 20-year or 30-year plan.
Straight up.
Right? So when they gave up the map last time, they got $100 million to build schools to populate those areas that they came back for 10 years later. So the first question I have is, what in Black Chicago do we have to protect that's left? Then, who does the protection? See, I feel like right now, as we're dealing with this ward remap situation, it's kind of like in the hands of the aldermen, but it's not just their fight.
They literally can't do it alone.
But who do they do it with?
Okay, so we've been talking about this remap stuff since the census. And last week I actually saw a PowerPoint presentation from Alderman Jason Irvin related to the remap.
I was at that meeting, but you were probably at the
I was at
leaders.
a different one.
You was at the leaders.
I was at a different one. Okay. And from that PowerPoint presentation, it gave me a better understanding that I've had ever of the remap. And we talk about it often. So I feel like if I talk about this with you at least like 2 or 3 days a week and I still did not understand what was happening, I can imagine that the rest of the people also need to see that PowerPoint and have an understanding of what the next steps are. So I don't know if that's going to require us to make space for our elected officials to come and show us what's happening, or if we got to go to them to figure out what's happening. But if we don't have that literally you have to have the understanding of what's happening, because we literally are about to have to surrender or die.
And I don't know that we have the time
to
explain that, which is why I think it requires a campaign. So let me back up. First of all, we are 9 weeks out from this vote. In my estimation, there needs to be a black campaign, or not even a black campaign, a citywide campaign to run this like a true campaign, not like some oh yeah, it's gonna happen. You know, it really needs a campaign manager, a kitchen cabinet. The reason I was talking about this is, who are the black people with money, power, and respect that can serve as the people that can galvanize the resources, money, people, etc.
See, it's not that there is an inability of people who can, it's who will. Because when you put yourself in that position, then you might have to be giving up some of your money or diluting some of your power. Egos. And I know that's like a whole different conversation, but that's part of the problem. And literally no one person can do this. It's literally going to take people who necessarily might not get along to come together related to this remap, because a lot of things spider web outside of this. You talking about what we got left in the city. Can we keep our black wards? We about to get them up too. We done lost CPS. We losing everything. We finna give up our black wards too.
And even at the point in which you give up the black wards, right? That means that your history has the opportunity to be overrun and erased again. See, what is of strategic value to us? Right? What are the non-compromisables? What if we had to give up Washington Park? Could you imagine Black Chicago without Washington Park being black?
I mean, look at where it's located. It ain't finna be black for long, for real, for real.
So again, right? So my question becomes what? And then Ruthie, when you say no one person can do it alone, I'm with you. I believe that, and I kind of feel like this thing is being kept in the realm of the elected officials.
Because it's still, to me, it's still too civil. Not gonna lie. I feel like it's still a little bit too civil for me. Like something so small as, what is this about to be called on the ballot? And literally, the name is the Harris map. That's the way that they trying to refer to it.
Instead of the city of Chicago map for all Chicagoans, where everybody can get in.
But that's that campaign piece that you're talking about. Like we all we need to sit down and agree to say, okay, y'all, we about to call it this, so that we all can have the same messaging, so that when you go in to vote, you're not duped and fooled because you just see names instead of the black map. It ain't gonna say the black map. It ain't gonna say the Latino map. It's gonna have some names next to it. It's the Harris map.
It's the Harris, like all the names of the people. And here's my thing. So I was sitting in the meeting and I was thinking, so as I was sitting down sketching it, Ruthie, because as I'm sitting here, I'm like, yo, y'all, who does politics? Because I was watching all the people in the room and, you know, people do all type of stuff, everything but actual politics, right? With the exception of the aldermen. And everybody had ideas, and I'm not minimizing any of them. But there is no organized, I can't say it isn't, but I haven't seen or heard of the organized structure that rolls this campaign out and does an 8 to 10 week campaign that has a kitchen cabinet that includes all of our spheres of influence or our business leaders who get the money together. Because fam, if you don't put your money behind this, you ain't finna get no more of them deals. It's gonna be Manny Sanchez. Dear fam, for the preacher and the religious community, we don't need to be worried about y'all trying to put a church program together. It should be every church should be screaming out the same hymn book. Who is the campaign manager? Who is the focal point? Right? So you got all of these brain trusts of black people that have, from Harold Washington all the way, that want to pontificate. But who are those people that have been high level donors, that have known, that have seen polling, that knows what needs to be part of a campaign and knows? So you ain't got to be running around saying, oh, I got $1 million, because this ain't $1 million campaign. This is you're playing for your whole future, and you thinking that $1 million is enough, and it's not. Now, who then is the fundraiser? Who is actually dialing for dollars? Who is calling up people saying, I need $100,000 from you?
But you know what, Maze? We so fractured that before I feel like we can even get there, we need a neutral party. We need a person that can come in and bring all these people together. That's what we missing. We know we got all the different pieces. It's just part of it over in that corner, another half in that corner. But who is the person that people trust that can bring people together?
And I don't think that it's the person. I think it has to be the issue. And I think that's where we get caught up, right? It's like we don't look for the best person who can get it done. What we do is we try to find the people that are cool or that we like or we think are in a popularity contest. But usually the most effective people aren't very popular. Why? Because they hold you accountable. And nobody likes the person that said you was going to do it on this day at this time in this amount of time. Man, you got every excuse in the world as to why not. So nobody usually likes the person that is going to hold people accountable. And I think we got to get away from the person. I think we got to get away from the person and really think about who has the skill set.
See, but you know, how can those things be separated?
What do you mean?
Like, how can you separate the person from the skill set?
I think I see it every day. I think that when you go into a campaign, the campaign manager is often not very popular with the mainstream, but you're not supposed to see them, right? They are the people that wield the sword. They are the people, and a lot of times you don't like them until it's all over. And that's why they kind of put their sword in their pocket and then they go off to somewhere else, because they ain't here to make your friend. They ain't here to make you comfortable. They're not here to be they are here because we have a date time and objective. And if you ain't moving towards that objective, we need to move you away from what we're doing because you only drag. And so I think that's part of where we get all confused. Like, we've got all of these untrained people whose job it has been to just show up, hang out, be in the room, pontificate. But when it's time to go to war, ain't nobody ready to pick up the sword. Who's the black fundraiser? So is the campaign strategist for the black community over this whole thing? Because we don't even know who our strategists are. Is that going to be a white person deciding our strategy? Who's going to be the fundraiser for for the city of Chicago's map? Is it all fundraisers getting together and saying, okay, and is it going to be KDJ who's the black fundraiser? Is it going to be Schaefer and you know what I'm saying? Like, the pieces that need to happen. And I don't think we got time to heal. Who's going to be the communications director? Who is going to be firing off the statements? Who's going to handle social media? Who is going to be the person that's going to do the field? Who's going to do the math? And it's like, those people are very rarely people that anybody knows. They are people that are put together to get a job done. And I am suggesting right now that we're on a clock and this is a campaign. And I don't think it can only reside. It's going to have life-lasting effects for all of us. And I don't think that we can just let it ride or sit. And I think that's why you have the kitchen cabinet, because the kitchen cabinet is supposed to be bringing the factions, bringing their component of the faction and being like, okay, we trust you. So if you in, we in with you. We trusting you. Look, guys, look outside. You could be mad all day long. You could be like, he ain't standing on nothing. But I'm not the person that's going to stick a knife in your family. They are. And I'm not saying they as in, I am suggesting that, and this needs to be not a black campaign, because this is the city's map. So who's the person that who engages the white folks on the north side to have them putting their votes on? Right? Because if we put it up as the Harris map, do you think that works on the north side? Probably not. So what is the message? Like, this is the city of Chicago. Like, does every billboard scream, like, is the city of Chicago supporting its own map?
But it really is about, like you said, the campaign, and in something as simple as, are we all calling it the same thing, so that when people who might not be as astute step in there, are they going to vote for the correct thing? But it's times like this where we are really revealed, like where we really get exposed. Times like this. And if we can't put aside our egos, if we can't put aside these different lanes that we all have and come together, we are going to have to surrender or die. So I don't know what that requires, but I do know that the black elected officials that are in charge of this remap need to be on this radio once a day, twice a day, 5 times a day, educating the people about what the map is. Now, what does that look like? Do y'all need to call Mays? Like, what needs to happen? Mays, you need to call him? Like, but there's no reason why not every day a black elected official of the Black Caucus ain't talking about this map directly to black people on the Mays Jackson show. In spite of how y'all might feel about Mays, he got the audience. That's what I'm saying. Like, we got to put aside our egos. And I don't know what that looks like, but there's no reason, again, why black aldermen are not talking about this map every day in some way, shape, or form. So y'all gonna have to come to the audience, because I don't think the audience is gonna go to y'all. I don't think it worked like that. But we literally are about to have to surrender or die, because we can't get on the same page.
It is my thought. Let me thank everybody from WBGX 1570 AM. We about to wrap this up. Do we got callers on the line? We're going to give us a call at 87225. We're not taking it yet. We're going to take a quick break when we come back. Ruthie, It's important. So I don't even think it's just Maze Jackson. I think that we have so many drawn lines that we can't often, like, even with this remap, like, I feel like a lot of times each alderman is looking out for their own space, like their own ward, and they're protecting their own boundaries and the ability to be reelected.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just asking, like, what, Ruthie, do we need to do to save ourselves, or should we just jump ship? Because I'm going to just say like this. The way it seems with black folks, it seemed like Anthony Beale that made the smartest choice out of everybody for survival. Right? So let's do it. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Let's take a quick break. We come back, I'm going to take your calls. But how do we get together on this map, on this war? Because I don't think that we understand. Like, I don't even know if we know what we need to protect. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 AM. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here. Peace. Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Riis the ruler, Maze Jackson. This is the reparations and so go on, make my payments. Ha 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 ha. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them ha 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 ha. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it ha 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 ha. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them ha 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 ha. Look, and check it out. First drug lord was President Nixon. Oval Office was the trap house where he was tipping. Got the drugs from Nicaragua and gave us crack. Declared war on blacks. Man, tell him to cut the check and tried to make it seem like a revolution. CIA was the corner boys for distribution. We could tear this country in half for retribution. But I'd rather get some restitution, so tell him to cut the check. John Singleton, man, he already told y'all. He broke it down for you when he made Snowfall. They locked us all up and created whole laws. So send a message like a cold call. Tell them to cut the check. Look, we built this city. We built this city. Back, put this country together and gave them hella aid. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Over 400 years. Been punching the clock, but yeah, we still ain't got paid. Look, they paying the immigrants. They paid the Jews. Executive orders, man, they made the rules. I want my 40 acres, you can save the mule. Cause as of right now, we getting played for the fool. Look, for sterilization, Tuskegee experiment, Rosewood, Japanese internment. Come on, was all paid out from the government. We waiting on our turn, we definitely earned it. So make my payment, ha 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 ha. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them ha 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 ha. Not no SBA loans, just run the bread, make it ha 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 ha. Tell the government to cut them reparations, make them ha 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 ha. Not no stimulus checks, just run the bread, make it ha. Yeah, Ruthie Mo, Riis the ruler, Maze Jackson. This is the reparations interlude. We not asking, we demanding.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. It's What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell him May said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Man, Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. Enough to seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my girl, Ruthie Moore. DJ Riis, the ruler. It's a war map. There's a war going on outside. It's 9 weeks away. 9 weeks from your future. What part of Black Chicago do you think will always be black? What's the worst part of Chicago? But what is there in, think about this. We've lost almost 1 million black people. First, where did they go? Secondly, who filled them in? And what is not black anymore that used to be black?
I feel like CTA people gonna be black.
CTA employees?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, CTA employees will always be black. I guess my question becomes, who is going to lead the charge for Black Chicago? I think this gives us a 10-year reprieve.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at the rate that we're losing Ruthie in 10 more years, we probably be down to 8 black wards. 10. Whoa. Let's say 10. We can't catch up in birth. Mm-mm. It ain't black people migrating to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Are we recruiting them? We ain't in college, so it ain't like we getting recruited from college to come back to Chicago. We are the New York of the Midwest. The biggest city between New York and LA. We got an ocean right out there. We have become a shining diamond on the edge. But where do black people fit? I remember being at 31st Street Beach. And that was, you had the projects. Everybody was over there. Mm-hmm. And now it's not the same. And I guess my question really becomes, Ruthie, who is the team? Who we got? What we got remember, every fight we've had has been led by white folk. Our general has always been white. Think about the fact that the person that's trying to kill us on the map right now was the person who crafted our map last time. In Victor Reyes. Right?
Crafted the black map?
Yeah, he was the one who got the 100 million for the Latinos that they used to populate those areas, and now they coming back, and then gave up, and then was hailed as a genius for bringing it together, and then came back and came to hit us. Think about the fact that right now our fate is, not our fate, but our chief negotiator on the map side is Mike Casper, who I'm not going to shade, but again, all of our trust has been going backwards. And in this process, so even in this space, who's the junior attorney that's learning from, who's the black junior attorney that's learning from Casper right now for this battle in 10 years? So will we go into this battle 10 years from now, and when we're going to be on the block for 3 more or 4 more awards and still be at the mercy of someone else? Who is the black fundraiser that can pick up the phone right now, pick up the Black Caucus, or pick up this map battle and have an infinite budget to protect, like the war? They can allocate the money for the war. Who are our team players? Are our team players making the best decisions for us? Because I got to ask you, right? Think about right now, no shade, but both lawyers are billing. Like, the whole reason they wanted this map fight, if you're a lawyer, is because you get to bill hourly. Do you know that the last remap fight was $20 million to law firms?
Whoa.
As a matter of fact, in the beginning of this, I was advised to file a lawsuit on the map just so I could get someone paid. So I guess my question becomes, who's the team? Who are the top black communications professionals?
Do we need a black cartographer?
Oh, well, it's too late for that.
Too late?
It's too late for that. But who's the black campaign, or who's the campaign manager? And here goes the crazy part. We probably are going to have to find a white campaign manager to run it.
But since this is the city's map, don't the city of Chicago got a line item to put toward this? Like, why?
Yeah, but who's still, even if you had a line item, who's the white people that do it? I mean, who's the black people that fill the line item? The reality is, again, right? And the second that you step up, the people with expertise, they'll be like, oh, it was nepotism. Oh, it was a hookup. Because if you make money, now I want you to be clear that both lawyers involved in this, regardless of win or lose, are billing hours.
I didn't think about the money part.
I started with the money. So my question is, if you weren't able to get it, do we start to move that money to wartime resources? Who's the media buyer? Who's planning? Because remember, media is going to be at a all-time high because JB is running against itself. Riis's boy, Richard Irvin, got $20 million. We're going to be in the middle of a primary battle. Who's writing the TV spots? Because those need to be ready and somebody needs to be booking the airtime. Who are the big business people and where are they taking their money? So who's contributing to this campaign fund? Is there an organized organization that people can donate to? I saw a mailer for Vic, but who's talking to black folks about what this means to them? Who's talking to the city of Chicago? Who has done the messaging? What is the message? Like, Ruthie, this is a campaign. This is not I'm going to use the perfect example of this the last time. Do you remember when the Democratic Party had to pick a candidate for MWRD and they picked a black preacher? and the white progressives ran a candidate against him, and we was relying on going. The whole reason we was picking him was because we wanted to get the black church community, and all the pastors was rallying around them but couldn't, and they was gonna take the buses to the polls, and that was what the Democratic Party was relying on to get black people to turn out in this election. And it didn't work, and the white folks wrote the FU on the knuckles and did the videos and did all this progressive and went to YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and mobilized their people and had a grassroots door-to-door campaign as well as worked the early vote program. And the black preacher got mollywopped and I was sitting at that meeting and I was watching all them preachers. Like, I understand you got preacher meetings. I understand it. But realistically, and I mean this with all due respect, that's a phase of a campaign. That's a component. That's not the campaign. And like a lot of times what people see is, we could do it. The churches have to be organized and a component of the campaign, not the campaign. Church people will have you believe that they are the campaign. We'll get in our churches on. Well, your churches ain't full on Sundays. If they was, we wouldn't be having what we got. And I don't mean that as a disrespect. I mean it as the fact that this is wartime. You know how all the time I be talking about we be out hunting and we be gathering and picking, and they got warriors. Think about the meeting you was at. How many swordsmen were at your meeting? No shade. Like when we go to battle, we need a word of prayer. But when it's time to fight, you pray. I need you to pray, God, that this sword don't take me out. Not, Lord, make them forgive our enemies as they coming to hit us over the head. Lord, give us the strength to prevail over our enemies. Call in. I see we got somebody want to call in and talk to us. 872-259-7474. Call in. 872. Call in. I would love to hear from. Hold on. Man. The Latino general, Vladimir Villegas, he want to talk. Good. Give us a call, Vladimir. 872-259-7474. We looking for you, Vladimir Villegas. Round here trying to acquiesce.
He want to put on for his map.
He trying to take. He treating us like we the Ukraine. What's like we Kiev, trying to take our capital. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show? What you got for me?
Shalom.
Israel, what's up, dog?
Man, listen to you, man. It's interesting. B1, keep up the B1 fight, man. We need to go take civics into these grammar schools, man. Our people don't know nothing about civics. I see why they took civics out of schools, man. Every time I listen to you, the hole gets deeper. And I'm calling Ian disrespectful. Them preachers need to go build some souls, not no houses, and not trying to be. I thought it was separation church and state. What happened to that?
I seen you snapping at the meeting. I saw you snap at the meeting.
Man, you ain't saw nothing yet. I was nice at the meeting. I was polite. You know how you guys to snap on dude in the hallway.
So Israel, could I say this though?
Want to be congressman?
This is my question, and this is my biggest question right now. And I think because you will be one of the frontline generals that lead the infantry. How do we put that aside, knowing that they coming for us right now in this same election cycle? How do we enlist the aid of our biggest? And I don't want to call you a warlord, but you, in my estimation, we don't have a kingdom. We don't have an empire. We got fiefdoms and we got warlords that control spaces. Bob, you control a space. How do we get that? How do we get? Israel. Prince Israel moving forward. How do we get your sphere of influence going in the right direction, even as we know we got this other thing going on. Because the war is coming to a head. The end game is June 28th, regardless of what we had for the last 20 years or going forward. And if we don't win on the 28th, we gonna be looking kind of crazy. Talk to me.
Like I said, we all go back to civics. We got to go in these grammar schools. It's hard to fix broken men. A lot of these people got their hands out. They think politics is just begging for money. Once they get that money, and politics forget about them. Like I say, so I'm trying to say we need to get back in civics. June 28th ain't gonna be the end of the world. It might be the end of certain situations in Illinois. But it's all spiritual warfare. We're battling wickedness in high places. Our people don't know that. They're taking them talents, silver talents. You know the Bible better than me. You know what I'm saying? It's all spiritual. We're dealing with some wicked individuals. They don't know it. So they Tubman said she can free 1,000 slaves. They knew they were slaves. Their mentality is they brainwashed. 400 years of brainwashing is hard to overcome. You know what I'm saying? So I hope I answered your question, but it's all spiritual.
Okay. So maybe we lay down on this one. Well, thank you, Israel. I appreciate that. Next caller. Caller on the Maze Jackson Show. How do we put this together? Do we fight or do we lay down on this?
Good morning.
Good morning. What's up, caller?
Good morning, Maze, Riis, the ruler, Ruthie boy.
There you go. Hey, man. Hey, this is Tyrone Muhammad. Ty, I just got to tell you, bro. They hit me with the F. I've been feeling a kind of funny way, man. I gotta ask you though, how? Because I saw some of what you were saying last week about some of the people that we had. How, Ty, do we get through this fight, or do we just say let it all go and then we build from what's the wreck, from what happened? Talk to me, brother.
Well, look, bro. Praise be to God, man. Because at the end of the day, this isn't nothing new to us. We've been surviving some of the worst atrocity, man, in our history. So this is nothing. So, and I'm in a calm manner. I'm gonna say that that's over. That fight you talking about is over. As a collective, though, moving forward, bro, I have to say, I've been active over the last probably year or so, signing up over 1,000 ex-felons in these particular wards in different areas. So oftentimes you kind of telegraph the moves, and we kind of telegraph the moves that we are about to make as a collective. So I'm thinking that those young and those people that you see as having the power or money or whatever, I say throw all that out the way. Throw it out with the baby out with the bathwater. And now we have to focus on what we're building, like what's in it for the black people, the Black People First Party, and all of what we're doing. We just had a whole meeting over at ECCSC regarding these casinos, and we had a great, as far as I'm concerned, the people who were supposed to be a part of it came out, and we're gonna keep building that coalition right there, so that no matter who wins the casino, we win. So it doesn't matter. So we building our collective power and pooling our resources. With that being said, we have to strategically focus on certain areas, just like you said, and should I say, bring our collective wisdom and knowledge together and go after things and make examples out of things. I'm actively, personally, in the next 2 weeks, personally seeking to sign up, register 50,000 ex-felons. See, I'm gonna flip these wards. See, now you talk about political power. All these brothers that go to prison, 30,000 brothers come home every year from these joints. And that's the goal, is to encourage them and to show them and to teach them that collectively we are powerful. And we change the narrative and the dynamics by which power is instituted and exercised in these communities. I've identified 3 or 4 wards that we're going to remove some aldermen, and we're going to show them and prove it. That's how you start to give people to understand that we ain't nothing to be played with.
Now you remove them people, you start to build up that political power, and you create the political action committees that then identify, target these individuals, that show them that you've been there long enough, you haven't done anything to serve our community. Now we deal with that. Then we start figuring out, man, how we build economically in the community and make examples out of some gas stations, some corner stores, because you gotta have money to pay for the movement. Because as we've already said, I can't rely on Willie Wilson to give us nothing to be on the ground to move, and people that out here actively using their resources to build real power and real wealth, because they use it for the wrong things. Because without the people anyway, it don't matter who runs for election. If we don't select them to be our leaders and representatives, they throwing bad money, good money after bad. So if you got a question on that, I'm waiting on a response from you. I don't mean to filibuster. So, but I'm just telling you, you can't not, if you don't actively start building it up from the bottom up, stop looking at the top. The top has already failed us. If we even sitting around talking about who's the most powerful person in Chicago, I guarantee you, your name come in your mouth, they've already sold us out, and they have already failed us. Because while we on the ground fighting and saving lives and dying, these men that have resources and wealth don't give us anything, bro. Don't help, don't train our young men out here to be better, do better. So they don't respect us, or they don't believe that we have the power to unify and to commingle our collective knowledge and wisdom to get at anything. So with that being said, that's what we concentrating on over here. We concentrating on every little person, bro, giving them the individual power and strength to be a part of the change they want to see, bro. And that's where we at with that. So I ain't even thinking about them people, because we're going to drive them out the city anyway, because they ain't going to be able to exist once we build our army.
That's what I'm talking about. So, Ty, you know what I'm saying? That there's an alignment that is, in my estimation, happening. I don't know if this thing that's happening forces us out of the space that we are. Do y'all realize that these aldermen will vote on a map? Thanks, Ty. I appreciate your call. We'll vote on a map of new residents in less than a year. Remember when I told you about how this was like a political Armageddon over the course of 2 years? That we could fail or thrive or flourish or fail. I think Ty is doing something that we all got to do. And what I appreciate is the alignment. Mm-hmm. Right? Like being able to say, okay, we here. Like we ain't got to we can exist in the same space. And I think we got to figure out what is our infrastructure as it exists right now. And I was talking about the most powerful, right? Because everybody that we can name could retire at any moment. How we eat? What you up there with your mouth all twisted up for?
No, because it's just like... So you know how people like, well, cut off their nose to spite their face. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm kind of stubborn sometimes. So sometimes I will cut my nose off to spite my face, then I know. But I'm saying, but that ain't the right way to be in this situation. And I feel like that's what's happening with this remap. Is everybody like knowing good and dang on well that if we don't mend some of these bridges, that we all are gonna perish. And I know it's difficult and it's hard, but literally, like, now is the time. If we can't come together around this, then I'm going with Bill.
I'm saying, man,
if we can't come together around this, then
I just feel like everybody. I just think like that's why we also need lobbyists, right? Like there needs to be a go-between or somebody to broker these things. I don't know. Like I feel like in our universe, we be having so many like layers of offense, right? That you think you talking about this and you talk about 6 layers down. And I just feel like, man, everybody finds their own person or people. I don't know, man. Let's go to the live line. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up, caller? What we gonna do on this map? Who is the team? How do we get our team together to save ourselves during this map? It's Jake. Sound like Jake.
Hey.
Hello.
This is Joseph. Good morning, Maze, and Ruthie and all y'all, man.
Morning.
You know what? As I'm getting the kids, say it again, Maze.
Oh, who is this?
This is Joseph Williams.
Oh, Joe, what's up, man? I got call Ruthie too. I need to come some read to the kids, man. What's up, Joseph Williams? He be out there fighting for the fathers all the time.
Absolutely. You know, so I'm over here getting the children ready, and I caught a little bit of the show. And as I'm thinking about it, you know, honestly, I think one brother said, you know, we got to definitely start it at like the beginning level. We got to start educating our children and getting them civically engaged early in the game. They shouldn't wait till they go off to high school or anything. They need to start at a grammar school level and learning about this process and how things work. But then also, when I look at our communities, the communities that we've been looking at for decades that look the same way, I don't see nobody budging on nothing that can make it positive because they ain't did it all this time. I honestly feel like these politicians, they sit here and they treat it like it's a 9 to 5. They go, they work, they get paid, they go home, and that's the end of it. While our communities continue to suffer the consequence. And on the community aspect and the political aspect of it is that the money, right? A lot of folks don't see long term. So even if you are a big investor, you just see the now. You see that you're in a good position right now where you keep making your money. They don't see long term that eventually they're going to be pot two and somebody going to move them out the way. So a lot of folks, and even our people in the communities, you know, even when I ran for office myself, they don't even want to know if I was Democrat or Republican. So just the education piece and looking past the now. We have to see past the now and see ultimately what can happen to our city if we don't come together as a collective. And a lot of these officials, honestly, I don't even know if they know what it looks like to organize a community for real because they're so used to getting it so easy. So, you know, education and seeing past the now is what I think about when I think about this remap, and I'm hearing a little bit of what I heard. I tell you, you know, what our organization is doing, of course, we out here getting these fathers involved, and we read books to these babies, and we ain't waiting to down the line to necessarily go violence prevention after the fact. We catching these babies while they're young and changing that mindset and help them build them and let them know they can be whatever they want to be. Get them those social emotional skills that they don't usually get until they go off into the community to try to join a gang or do something reckless. So we're catching them at an early age, changing their mindsets and their behaviors and building them up, you know, and that's what it's all about. And we can get fathers to get in and be a part of that, to be a part of that process. Not only does it help the children and the fathers, but hopefully I hope the one that go down there in Springfield or somewhere and tell them, give me some millions so now I can pay these fathers stipends to support these babies. So now all together, I'm also going to feed the family too. So now those fathers get to go back and feed their families. So ultimately, I could be pulling some guys off the streets and all these different areas and building families back together, putting men back into position again, and feeding them all at the same time. So I love what the organization is doing. I'm going to continue to fight for our fathers and our babies out here on the front line of it. But just on that aspect of it, we just got to see past the now and really find a way to work together. And it just ain't been in us forever. You know, we'll bash each other way faster before we'll go stand next to each other and support each other. And we just got to, as people, find a better way to work together for the greater purpose. And that's just what it comes down to.
All right. Hey, Joe, thank you for your call. Also, Joe, I want to just point to Willie Preston.
Oh, yeah.
As an example for brothers like yourself. I think he ran 4 years
That's
ago,
my boy.
2 years ago. Was it 2 years or 4 years ago? Whatever it was, when he ran, it was, and I appreciate his stick-to-itiveness, and he kept working and grinding. And Joe, I've seen you do the same thing, right? I see that you weren't just running to run. I've seen that you've been active and involved and stayed engaged, and when you didn't win, you were still and have grown your sphere of influence. And so I want to encourage you, man. Come check us out at the Black People First Party. But also, man, we need brothers like yourself to stay in the field and stay in the game and keep yourself straight, man, so we can get you to the place where we need to have brothers like yourself. Because there has to be another, there has to be a way forward that does not include us having to destroy ourselves. We may be past it. And it may be on you millennials to do it. But in the meantime, I just want to provide you some encouragement, brother. And I do want to let you know I see you out here doing your thing all the time. And your work speaks for itself. So thanks for calling in. All right, y'all. On the live line, calling to represent Russians. It is it is actually my good friend. Except for in wartime, you can't be all smiling. On the live line, I have affectionately called him Vladimir Villegas. It is the chairman of the Latino Caucus, candidate for Congress, and right now he the ops. Welcome to the Mays Jackson Show, Alderman Villegas. How are you this morning, sir?
Good morning, Mays. Good morning, Ruthie.
Hey, you're a bad
thank you
man.
for allowing me the opportunity.
You're a bad man walking over here, man. Man, what's in your Wheaties, man?
Well, no, here, let me just say this, Mays. First of all, again, thank you for the opportunity to address you and your audience. I think initially we missed an opportunity, but there's always an opportunity to strike a compromise. You got to think about the fact that 32 of the 50 aldermen are Black and Latino, and you only need 26 votes to pass the map. And I think that had we really had some conversations and looked at the data and followed it, I think that we could have came to some type of compromise. Now, I'm not saying that it's not out of the realm of possibility. Just saying that time is running out. But I can tell you that in talking with my members, we have always wanted to try to figure a way to follow the data, Voting Rights Act, and in listening to what the residents of Chicago want as it relates to redistricting. And so that's something that we've messaged from the inception of the map process, and we continue to do that, but always willing to work with our colleagues to try to get to a compromise.
So, Alderman, let me ask this, because and I would affectionately call you Gil if we wasn't at war right now. If I got to keep my wartime face on, but my question becomes, because I mean, you and I were like during the old days, how we met was because it kind of was we saw ourselves in the same plight, and I feel like here we are almost 15 years later from when we were at IDOT and we saw how things were happening. And now the ball is kind of in our court. And let's say I don't say black and brown, I don't. But let's just say that the ball is in the black and brown court. How does it wind up that in this space for all the years that Ed Burke and Dick Mill and all of those people ran the spot, that seniority mattered, that it all counted, and now that it is a black woman in charge, it feels like all those rules are out the door. And then when I look at kind of how she's been marginalized in this process, I just feel a certain way. I feel a certain way. I got to be honest with you, because if it was Mel, if it was Burke, we'd be deferring, and it was deferred all the time. We had these same kind of numbers before. But when we had the numbers before, we still had a somewhat of a majority between the two groups, and there was always deference to the chairman of Rules Committee. Why is that different now?
I can't speak to the past, but I can tell you that if the situations were the same, the numbers were the same, and regardless of who's in charge, the chairperson, you have to have the ability to advocate, and you have to have the ability to follow the data of the Voting Rights Act, to have that discussion. Now, this is, at the end of the day, the redistricting is an ordinance. And an ordinance is an idea that's put forward, and then you got to get yes and no, get yes votes in order to pass it. That's where we're at right now. We're just not agreeing on how the redistricting, how the reapportionment should look like. And that's what it boils down to. It's difference of opinions. Regardless of who the chairperson is, right now we're just not agreeing. And I think to lose sight of that really minimizes what the discussion is. As soon as this redistricting is done, whatever way it goes, hopefully a compromise comes out of it. But the real story that I'm concerned with and want to take a look at after this is done is the 250,000 African Americans that have left Chicago, and figure out a way to put forward a task force to talk about that, to see why. Why is this happening? Why are people moving out of the city of Chicago? And what can we do to stop that migration out of the best city in the country? Why are people leaving the city of Chicago? And I think that that's a bigger story that we have to talk about. Something that I really want to focus on because we've had an increase in the city of Chicago as it relates to the Latino community, Asian community, but we've seen for the second decade in a row a decrease. And I want to find out why. What are the attributing factors to that, and what can we do to stop that? Okay. And so we just have a disagreement right now, and regardless of who the chairperson is, the mayor, we're not on the same page right now. But we can still get there. It's just that there has to be willing compromise, and not surrender, but compromise.
So let me back up, because I do think that Alderman, this thing seems to have taken a vitriolic turn. More inside baseball, but I've seen the war or the slinging of mud between the two lawyers that are representing the both sides. I see that you all are calling, Mike, you are now calling the map purported by Alderman Harris, the map crafted by Mike Madigan's former attorney. And I think it's interesting, or a little bit disingenuous, to recognize that both people that are working on the map both worked for Madigan on the map last time. How do you respond to the mudslinging that is happening and the name calling behind the scenes as it relates to the lawyers involved in this issue? And do you think that having Victor Riis in that space, considering the history that he's had with the Black Caucus, could be a antagonistic factor in this space?
I would say, well, our team, the legal team that was selected by the members of the Latino caucus, are inclusive of two attorneys that historically represented the Latino caucus in the two previous redistrictings, as well as the ones at the state. And then also the addition of Bert Odelson, who is a very sought-after election attorney and redistricting attorney in the city of Chicago. So that's the makeup of the team. Listen, we have the process. We just feel hasn't been done fairly. The Voting Rights Act, in our opinion, as it relates to redistricting, has put us in a position where we've been locked out, and we have been given an area of the city to draw, unlike our other colleagues that had the opportunity to go outside of a boundary that they've been predetermined. And so I think that the redistricting has been something that once we've spoken to some of our other colleagues, that they haven't experienced the same thing that we have experienced, and that's the frustration that we have here, is that we're not allowed to follow Latino census tracts, and we have routinely said over and over that just because you come in first doesn't mean that that's the area that you're entitled to. There has to be a discussion, and people have to be allowed to follow the census tracts, because every 10 years.
So seniority does not matter anymore in your sense, in your idea, in city council anymore. The tradition that
seniority.
Go ahead.
Well, seniority will matter if, for example, if it comes down to like a park or a project, perhaps. But if we're not going to follow the census data, then why even conduct the census if you're just going to draw wherever you want? That's why we do it every 10 years, is to find out where people have moved. And as a result of that, that's the way the wards move. And what you've seen is, specifically within the Latino communities on the north and west sides of the city, you saw gentrification push Latinos northwest and southwest. Hence why we've tried to follow the migration of the Latinos that way. And so all we're saying is that, we're still open for discussion. We've always been open for trying to have a real compromise, but it just has to be a serious discussion about the current situation and the current population in the city of Chicago. That's all we're saying. Now, I would also say that both maps maintain 16 black wards. Both maps have 16 black wards.
I think, but what we know they're looking at is the future, though, right? And I think that what we look at, and I think, Alderman, you and I are both smart enough to know that we understand that this isn't just for this 10 years. It's for the future. Let me ask you another question, Alderman, because one of the big points of contention, and I think it's going to be a further point of contention as we continue to move forward. Do you believe that undocumented immigrants should have the right to vote in municipal elections?
Well, currently, right now, that is not the law.
But we see we see a trend. We see a trend, though. But we do see a trend, and I would say that if this happens, I would say that we saw it happen in New York. We see it happening in places in California. I would expect that as the Democratic Party moves forward, they are trying to add this as again in places like Chicago, where black people are summarily being moved out and being replaced. Would it not be strategically of an advantage to have undocumented immigrants vote? And so it is, because we did that with the school board elections, correct? Which is a municipal election, correct?
No, actually, no, that's not accurate. So the elected school board does not allow parents of undocumented parents rather of children the ability to participate in the elected school board.
I thought that's what they held the whole thing up for. Let's check that out. Okay, I'll check that, but thank you. Okay, I'll accept that for now. Yeah. But I was under the impression that was part of the compromise that they held up to get it done, and CTU was for that. But go ahead, I'll let you talk about it.
Well, actually, it's in reverse. The reason why it passed is because they did remove the language around allowing undocumented the ability to participate, and hence there's a trainer bill that's in Springfield now that would allow for undocumented parents the ability to participate. Now, I would also say
would you support that?
When CPS receives money, well, let me say something. When CPS receives money from the federal government under Title I, there's no discussion around someone's status. So then we have to ask the question then, if the federal government sends money to CPS regardless of a person's status, then should they not receive the money because they're undocumented? So that's like a taxation without representation. Should they not have the ability to participate in the process?
Should they stop at the border? Should at that point, should we be reconsidering? Because again, we have the highest unemployment rate in the country for black people and black men specifically in Chicago. So you got to understand where there is obviously some sort of competition for resources. Alderman, because right now you're also running for Congress, right? So you're going to have a say whether it's locally or nationally. I got to ask you directly. I hear all of the other stuff. Yes or no, do you support the right of undocumented immigrants to vote in municipal elections?
So that's a hypothetical question, and there hasn't been put forward.
There's a law in New York. If you lived in New York, would you support it? If it came to Chicago, would you support it?
I live in Chicago. I live in Chicago. So
this is a good dance.
I'm focused on Chicago.
All right, so I'm going to tell you that we'll weigh in. I'm going to just tell you that the black folks that are in your congressional district are going to be asking, do you support that? I'm going to let you dance on it, but Alderman, I think the fact that you won't respond says a lot. Alderman, how do we get a resolution to this map thing? Because it seems to me that there are wards already that the Latino caucus controls, but they cannot win them because of the voting turnout. And so it seems as though we are being legislated out of our space. Talk to me about that real quick.
No, I think we got to remember, Maze, that when we talk about an opportunity ward, it's just that. It's under the Voting Rights Act. It allows for protected classes the opportunity to elect someone, understanding that John Q and Jane Q citizens are the ones who determine who the electorate's going to be. And so whether it's predominantly African American, predominantly Latino, Asian, etc., if the electorate comes forward and says, no, we want someone else, then that's the will of the people. But what has to happen, though, is at least have the ability to have the opportunity to elect. And I think that that's what we're proposing, is having the opportunity to elect protected classes under the Voting Rights Act. That's all we're asking for. And I think that I'm an optimist. I feel that we can still get there. I still feel that we can get there. We're not too far apart. It's just a matter of having some serious discussions and everyone leaving the room mad, understanding that everyone didn't get what they want. But this is a historic time in the city of Chicago, and I think that we can step up and face this challenge head on, and have the residents of Chicago win.
Hey, Alderman, I'm gonna tell you what. I don't agree, but what I do respect is your willingness to come directly to our audience, which is probably a hostile audience, and share your opinion. Alderman, what I do hope is that at Alderman / Congressman, I'm gonna be a little bit more committal than you. But if you are, I always say you never deny your friends, but and I do consider you a friend. And as soon as this is over, we'll be back to having some margaritas and all that good stuff. But I gotta be stone faced until we come up with the resolution. But Alderman, I do think that there are some real tensions. I think there are some real, there's some long history. And I do think that a lot of times the comments in the paper, a lot of other things that start to fly around become reminders of olden days and start to serve as antagonistic as compared to moving the cause forward. So I would just tell you, I do believe that there's probably an opportunity to get together, because I've been hearing some other Latino caucus members are having some rumblings and may not be sticking to the game plan as well. But that's a whole nother situation. What I do want you to recognize and I understand that sometimes I recognize that there are rooms that when I come into, I'm going to set them off, and there are going to be people that are going to be like, never not know how. Right? And I just think as you start to move through this, and I still think you all have an opportunity to come to a resolution, sometimes the people in the room that are doing the negotiation may not always want to see the correct outcome because it's still billable hours. So I'm going to let that be, because Alderman Villegas, when this is over and we win, because we think y'all going to get some religion. Y'all going to come on over to the black side and we going to get this thing together. But I got to tell you, I appreciate you calling in, man. And I appreciate you always being willing to discuss the situation. I'm going to give you an opportunity to close. Let you say anything you want to say before you go. And I seen all that money in the account, dog. Amen. I see you raising. I'm wondering if you're going to be. What does Chewy say about all this? Are y'all still cool, man? Because he done double-crossed you, too.
Well, I'll just say this.
You don't want that smoke.
Well, no, there's an opportunity. Well, look here, within the Democratic Party, there's always room. It's a very diverse party as relates to ideology. Our ideologies are a little bit different. Where someone, we're just a little bit different on that front. I mean, I agree with 95%. There's just ways to get there, and so. We had a very good quarter. We're going to continue to keep our foot on the pedal. But I'm more interested right now at this point in trying to figure out if there's an opportunity to get a compromise, because 32 members of the city council are black and brown, and I think that the division that's been put forward has been the old divide and conquer strategy that we've seen in the past. And I think if we have some serious discussions, I think that we can get there.
So I'm gonna just tell you.
Thank you, Mays and Ruthie, for the opportunity.
Don't forget Riis, man. Don't forget Riis. He here too.
And Riis, I'm sorry, I apologize. Yep.
Hey, Alderman, thank you for calling in, man. Thank you for calling. We appreciate you. Just remember, you got the master of divide and conquer on your squad. So it's the Mace Jackson Show. I'm gonna let it be. I'm gonna let it be right there, because I am interested in
I wouldn't say the master. I wouldn't say the master.
Oh,
I would say,
okay. Well, he learned from the
leave it at
masters.
that.
He learned it. He learned it from the masters and implemented it to a fault on the black people, and we still suffering from it today, which is why we having this conversation. But Alderman Villegas, it is always good to talk to you, and I see you stirring up the pot because I know you're going to Congress, man. So you got to lock it down. I get it. It's the game. Hey, y'all, this is the Maze Jackson Show. That was Alderman Gilbert Villegas. We got anybody else on the line? Y'all, Riis, Ruthie. See how people be doing? Like, you can't be scared of your own people. Dude call up and say, I'm not scared of you. Nah, I'm not saying scared. Because I don't think that should be it. But should I have been like, you can't call Telemundo? Could I call you think I could have got on Telemundo? I really want the black people that are listening to understand. Like, they not apologizing. You see how diplomatically he did that? They put their whole team together, Ruthie. They said, bring us our goon squad, bring us our whole squad, and we finna do whatever we do, and we'll talk about it at the end.
What they got to lose? Nothing. Literally, they have nothing to lose and everything in the game.
Look, he said, stop kicking it with the ops. Right, look, I had to let you see the ops, right? And quite as quiet as it's kept, that he's oftentimes less oppositional to me than my own ops. But even with my own people, but even with that, right? Where I'm at. What am I trying to tell you? Told him straight to his face, fam, we cool, is all good up, but we got to do this. You ever seen you know how it be. Did y'all see The Outsiders?
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Read the book.
Remember? I read the book and do it for Johnny, man. Let's do it for Johnny. But you remember that part when when the socialists and the greasers had to fight and Dally was friends with the head of the socialists, but because times changed, they had to brawl. Sometimes it be that way. See, sometimes everybody want to play two ends to the middle. Sometimes you gotta be like you gotta pick a side. Now, I'm gonna tell you, part of the issue is they side cracking up. It's fractures in their army. So that's why they want to talk compromise. But we gotta keep the pressure on. We gotta keep the pressure on. Dad, Jerome, y'all keep saying I'm kicking it with the ops. Man, I'll let the ops come tell y'all the plan. Now we got to strategize. You think I could get somebody from the Black Caucus to talk to us? Jason, although Jason said Alderman Irvin said he would talk to us. But I think we got to do more than just talk.
We got to look at the PowerPoint to get an understanding. And I think if we really understood, like, we could talk about this all day, but if we ain't got no plan, and I ain't saying the PowerPoint is the end all be all, but it just give a whole different level of understanding of the importance. And we could talk all day about this stuff, but when you see the data and the numbers on the paper, it's irrefutable as to why we need to support one map or the other.
30 seconds, though. How you going to do it in a 30-second spot? You can't put the PowerPoint in a 30-second spot. So what you going to say?
We can strategize.
That's my point.
But it's going to have to be like, hey,
9 weeks.
People get together.
9 weeks. You know, I feel like what's that? Don't Look Up. Remember that? Don't Look Up. Like
that
now,
movie?
it was like, and the clock was ticking down, and they was like, yeah, don't look up. Let's just keep on acting like whatever you do, don't look up. Let's just dance. I was thinking, I was at a party the other night, and it was like, what would be the Black Power was kicking it. And it just made me say, we are dancing to our demise. I mean, it was like, I was like, is this the post strategy meeting party? Like, did y'all must have just left the war room. And of course, I'll be a jerk for saying that. But I still feel like that Mob Deep. It's a war going on outside. No man is safe from.
How
you
do
can
our
run,
black,
but you can't ride forever for these.
Can black elected officials protect their own interests, but also the interests of black people right now?
Yes, I think they have to understand that they are inextricably linked. That is what I think the challenge is. We have to understand that it's inextricably linked. Reese, you got the call up. Is there anybody up there? All right, seeing that there are none.
I need to hear from Alderman Michelle Harris. And I get it if it's some stuff that she can't say. But goodness gracious, like if we finna call this whole map the Harris map, I need to see the 8th Ward Alderman Michelle Harris out here telling us why it's important for us to utilize her name to save ourselves.
That's not going to happen.
It has to happen.
It's going to happen over there. It ain't going to happen. I'm just saying. It's like, Ruthie, 9 weeks out. You just saw the PowerPoint. You got to do radio, TV, print, outdoor. You got to raise
get ambassadors. Like, what the heck?
I think every outlet. Junior, you trying to test me, and I think y'all keep trying to test me. Like, I feel like this is an all hands on deck thing. There is no outlet that we have. I think Truth Be Told. I think Bean Soup Times. I think Bronzeville Times. I think WVON. I think, like, this is the problem with black folks sometimes. Like, we so goddamn petty. Like, trying to prove a damn point. That the point is we gonna get wiped off. I don't care. I want WVON to get $1 million. I want the Bronzeville, what is it? The Bronzeville Podcast Studio. I want them to get $1 million. Like, that's what I don't think y'all can understand. Like, y'all. Like, y'all still saying don't look up. Like, do you understand that at the end of the day, when this thing hits, it's not gonna just hit Maze. It's not just gonna hit one of us. It's going to be all of us, whether we like it or not. And the missile is guided at black. Now, you might be the special Negro that got the force field. Maybe you built the underground shelter. Maybe you did like Alderman Bill and picked the other side. But make no mistake, there is and they don't care whether, they don't see the same. Did y'all see that African dude that got shot the other day? And I just got to go to this real quick. That got shot in Grand Rapids. Nobody cared that he was from the Congo. They killed his ass because he was black and expendable. Stop. Please stop. Please stop looking for the reason to divide. If you ain't with it, move. It's cool. But y'all, they trying to get us all. Look, I got to stop because I got a meeting to be at and I got to get somewhere. But this is the Maze Jackson Show. I am your host, Maze Jackson. Ruthie, what you got to say, because I see you.
It just really boggles my mind, though, how I don't know, Maze. And this might be like a simple solution, and I see the little comments and whatnot, but can't nobody deny the influence that you have built up. So y'all need to stop playing and give this man his props. Now we can cut off our nose to spite our face all we want to. And that's fine. We can all perish. But y'all know that Maze Jackson would be a great person to help us with this fight. So as much as we, want to deny, we can cut off our nose all we want to. And I know Maze ain't finna say this because he ain't even really the type, but y'all need to stop playing and come on. Come on home, everybody. Because in the words of, who always say this when they call in? I think it might be Robin Patrice. No, I can't remember who say this, but if we finna die, y'all, if we don't get it together. That's all I'm gonna say, Maze. And I know you ain't even the type to say, what you will and what you will and can't do, but come on, you said you pro bono. Like, what more do y'all want? Like, we gotta beg to stay alive. Like, we gotta beg to stay alive. 9 weeks out.
It's all good. It's all good.
And then the last week, then that's when everybody gonna be running around, chicken with the head cut off, and it's gonna be too late. We at least got 9 weeks to at least get people to know what to call the map.
Okay. It's all good. So, Y'all don't be getting Ruthie all charged up.
It's crazy to me.
Again, niggas will eat their own. They will
starve you out. They will literally will starve you out. They dying too, but they'll rather starve you out so they hungry over there looking at you starve a little bit faster.
What grandma say about the dog?
Black people are sometimes like dogs on a haystack. Can't eat the hay, but don't want the cows to get it. And now we all finna die.
And on that note, this is the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we're out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up.